Welcome to the What's the Damage podcast with your host, Leo Van Dammage.
And we are live. What the fuck's up, people? This is Leo here. How's it going? I'm sitting with Lisa Nicholls.
Hello there.
From Ghost Menagerie. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thanks, chap. All good.
Chap.
Can't complain. You're a chap. It's cool.
Yeah, I am a chap. Drone chap.
Drone
Steve.
chap.
Steve, drone chap.
Shout out to Steve.
Yeah, so Ghost Menagerie, just real quick before we go forward. Talk to us. What's Ghost Menagerie?
Well, to be honest,
It's your alter ego.
It was a bit strange. I had a Twitter account, personal one. My boss started following me on it, as well as some other people from work and agencies.
No, not about that life.
And I was like, this isn't good. Especially as I started off doing a kind of range of tweets, starting off with "shit my boss says." So I thought it probably best to kind of take that to one side. So I had an alternative Twitter account, really, and it was just an excuse for me to just talk about games constantly.
And that's just blown up.
Yeah, and just doing that, really. And
People think you're a guy.
yeah.
I'm just gonna go straight from that. By the way, anybody who follows you or Ghost Menagerie on Twitter, at Ghost Menagerie.
At
yes?
Ghost Menagerie, yep.
Anybody who follows you on Twitter will respond to you as "thanks, man, thanks, chap,"
Dude,
and have absolutely no idea that you are a
Not
well-educated, well-informed, smarter than most motherfuckers out there girl. By the way,
Thank you. Checks in the post.
You can swear in my post. You can swear in my podcast.
Cool.
You can say wherever you want.
Cool. Yeah, no, most people just, I guess, naturally assume that I'm a guy into retro gaming, PC gaming, current gaming, and let's be honest, majority of the time, yeah, a vast percentage of that are guys, so you're going to hedge your bets and just assume.
Most, by the way, most of this conversation, this podcast, is going to be probably about games, movies, and a variety of other things. Because I've known you for a long time, but
Yeah.
we will try to keep the inside jokes to a minimum.
Yes.
But currently, at the moment, we are sat at the Drunken Duck.
Indeed, yeah.
Is that what we would call it? The Drunken Duck?
Bit of a barcade, I guess. Yeah. Got a bar down here.
For people who can't, who have not been here before, sucks to be you. And the people that have, they know the deal. But this is a bar / gaming center that is available to you for barbecues and good times every time, whenever you feel like it. It's like Cheers, except without the Norm, and without Sam. It's got Lisa. But this is your home base, as long as your phone, right?
Yeah, this is it. I live at the bottom of the garden in a garage. That's pretty much it.
Far different than what people expect, right? But
Yeah.
it actually goes really well with like the gamer who sits in his parents' basement.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey
it.
guys, I'm gonna play Xbox." Okay, cool. So I said that like just because you've not done a podcast before, have you? So this is
I have
your
not.
first one.
I'm a complete virgin. You are taking my podcast cherry.
Okay, cool. I've taken a few cherries recently, so yeah, just another notch to my podcast belt.
TMI,
So,
mate.
this is just a conversation. I'm gonna call you dude. Sorry.
That's
This
fine,
is
that's
just
cool,
a conversation, man. Obviously, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
So for me and you, we're just gonna be shooting the shit as normal, and unfortunately, you just have a big red mic in your face instead
But
today.
you say that to all the girls.
Yeah, I do. My girlfriend. I have a girlfriend. I love her very much. She's probably not gonna listen to this, but if you do, babe, I love you very much, and I'm not doing anything naughty ever. So, on a side note. I said I was going to start this podcast off with something weird and a weird little fact that I heard today.
Okay.
Did you know Dragon Quest?
Yeah.
Yeah, the new one, Dragon Quest building things, whatever
Yes.
the fuck it is. Okay. There is a law in Japan that states that game cannot be released during a weekday, on a working day.
Really?
Because last time it was released, 9 million people called in sick for work.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's actually pretty awesome. We've all been there.
So it's a
I hope
law.
my boss doesn't
Oh
listen to
yeah,
this,
for
but
sure.
Yeah.
But so it's a law
That's
that
amazing.
that game must be released on a holiday or a weekend when
That's
nobody's
incredible.
working.
I mean, I would love it if we just released games on Friday nights. Like Friday is release day for games.
What
And-
dropped on Friday recently? Mafia 3.
Was that Friday?
Yeah,
I'm
last
so
week,
detached from reality. Yeah. I haven't played that though.
All the
good
week
things.
just gone. I'm pretty sure it was Friday. No,
that
that's
was a
wrong. I'm
Thursday.
wrong. Yeah, that was. It was either a Thursday or a Tuesday.
Yeah, Thursdays and Tuesdays.
7th. It came out on the 7th.
Yeah.
I know I know one of the guys who works the PR team for that.
Oh,
I'm not going to mention his name, but I know the guy. And still not gotten my free copy of that game that I've been waiting for a long time. So yeah, so he hit me up and I asked him. I think it's 7th of October, which was a Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I picked up a copy
bad
of Tomb
with dates.
Raider.
Yes, I have picked a copy up. Haven't played.
Yeah, but you pick up copies of everything and you don't play them.
I have a problem.
Yeah.
I'm the first to admit I have a problem.
My name is Lisa Nicholls and I am a game addict.
I do have a large amount of games on my shelf sitting by the side of me that are
Yes, very
still
much so.
in,
I can see all of them.
still in the cellophane. Will they ever come out of it? Who knows?
It's about finding fucking time.
This is it. It's like when you're a kid, you've got all the time in the world to play games and no money to buy them. And when you get older, you've got all the money like you want to buy games, but there's no time. You know, real life is terrible.
Some fucking way, yeah. So you've got quite a large presence on Twitter that I've seen, and you're getting a lot of people tweeting back to you. I tweet back to you. When we first spoke about you, it was just a passing comment, but you did mention to me that nobody knew who you were.
Yeah, and it was never meant to be like that. It wasn't like I had like this secret persona and I was like trying to be like James Bond or some shit and no one knew who I was. It just sort of fell out that way. I suppose part of it was like this is gonna sound terrible, but I guess you kind of don't know how people are going to react to who you are. And the beautiful thing about online is that you can be
The
whoever
anonymity,
you want to be.
yeah.
Yeah, you can be whoever you want to be. And the fact that I was like, it was gender specific. I was just somebody who was on there talking about games, getting other people's opinions. Like I could talk about games with people all day and all night. Like there's no.
But it should always be
me.
non-gender specific anyway. Because I mean, sorry, I'm smoking. By the way, I shouldn't fucking say that. It should be non-gender specific anyway. Because fucking games are for everybody.
I think the real issue here is like to anyone out there who's like a girl is worried about how people are going to react to you liking things like this. The media is bullshit. You are not going to have like people online all of a sudden like trolling you and giving you shit. There is such a small minority of arse-hats out there who are loud and obnoxious. Leo, I love you, dude, but still.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah.
I am like.
But I mean, there is
I'm
such
an
a small.
arsehole.
Yeah, I mean, there's a small minority of people who are going to do that, but they're not going to target you. They're going to target some games journalist, or they're going to target somebody who's like a CEO in a company or something. Like,
you get a lot of love as a girl, though. I mean, not you. I mean, you get a lot of love anyway. But
oh, thanks,
I mean,
Steve.
you're welcome. On Twitch, like, there's a whole
don't
like.
even get me started on Twitch.
There's a whole fucking
tit cams.
thing, man, where people are like.
I hate it.
They're like, basically, it's
Yeah.
I'm going to be half naked while I play video
Yep.
games and be like, oh yeah, and guys just pay to watch that shit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's really
well, they
frustrating.
don't pay, but they watch her,
Well, yeah, but you can subscribe and give money to these people, and
and they fucking do in
Yeah.
droves.
yeah. I mean, there's two ways of looking at this. Like, if you are somebody who has Twitch and like you're actually going on there and you're actively trying to build a community on Twitch and you're seeing that happen, that can be so demoralizing because you're like, what the fuck? They're doing nothing. And they're doing, they're getting all this. But at the same time, you've got to look and go, there's a market for this, and they're fulfilling a market. And just because somebody's watching their channel, it's not exclusive. It doesn't mean they're not going to watch yours. So,
That's how I feel about my page. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, just because somebody will listen to my podcast, they won't listen to exclusive. They'll listen to many podcasts.
course.
I listen to many
Yeah.
podcasts. I listen to
Exactly.
like probably, I subscribe to not loads, but about 12 different podcasts. And then throughout the course of the day, I'll listen to maybe 3 or 4, depending on
Yeah.
how long they are. But yeah, I mean, I think we sat down. I played you Plumbing a Death Star.
yes, you did, which is
Those
hilarious.
guys are fucking
Those guys are
hilarious.
great.
They do like 40 minutes of a podcast. And it is just these fucking
Theoretical nerd chats, really,
yeah,
isn't it? It's
theoretical
amazing.
Australian nerd chats. And they do them in like the fucking dude's bedroom, I think, in his house, like, and that's how we were talking about. My setup is so basic, like I just use my phone
Yeah.
because I found very early on that people will do a podcast with me, but won't. Someone will do a podcast with me, but won't come to me.
Yeah, I suppose
So
you have
it's
to
like
work around everyone
I
else's
appreciate
life.
that, and I get that. So like last week, I recorded like 2 podcasts in a day, but I release them every week. So for me, it's like I want to be consistent. I think consistency is key. I know a lot of podcasts that will do one and they won't drop another one for like 3 weeks, and it's like your audience is gone.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's the same. I suppose it's the same with like, you know, YouTube or anything like that as well. It's like consistency is important. There are some channels that physically can't put out content that quick. If you're looking at things like game theories, like
game theory.
When you're looking at stuff like that,
film theory, he's got
and film theory, which is also awesome. You know, when Matt Pat's putting those together, the amount of time and research that goes into something like that, he couldn't put out a YouTube video like every day. You know, like some people are putting out twice a day, like Jacksepticeye. You know, he's put out videos twice a day consistently for like 5 years, which is madness.
Jacksepticeye is the completionist.
Nope, just a green-haired Irish guy who loves to play games.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, like, that is insane to be able to do that, and the team who are behind him and work with him and his friends and stuff that are consistently putting out material. You know, okay, lots of people like throw shit at Let's Players, but at the end of the day, they're filming that for an audience, and the audience is there. I mean,
what's Let's Players? Sorry,
just someone who will go online and they'll play games and they'll just commentary, basically games commentary whilst you're playing games.
PewDiePie.
Yeah, PewDiePie.
Right.
I mean, like, people shit all over PewDiePie.
I was just going to ask you because
it really annoys me because he's got 40 million subscribers for a reason. People want to see that. There is a market.
So he's the because there's another guy called ALS, something like that. He got really rich. He's a British guy, and he got really rich off doing Pro Evo or FIFA videos.
Okay.
Dude's like minted, and all he did was like he started just not videoing the game. Maybe I could be wrong. If I am wrong, anyway, I'm sure somebody will correct me. But basically, he would play FIFA, and he was play his reactions when he was playing like online or with his friends, and it got so big that because FIFA is like massive.
Yeah, of course.
So he got so, and if for people who don't know what FIFA is, you shouldn't be listening to this podcast.
Yeah, you've come to the wrong place.
But it's a football game, like a soccer for the Americans. If there are any Americans that listen to this,
if there's Americans listening to that, think Madden, but like
football
we kick the ball
with soccer. Yeah. FIFA 17 like sold out like fucking everywhere.
Nuts. I mean, like, they've brought in like the Journey now as well, which is fantastic. You've got
What's the Journey? I don't play football games, so I don't know.
Okay, to be honest, I haven't played a football game since FIFA 14. I don't think.
Do you know what the last one I played was?
Is it Sensible Soccer?
International Superstar Soccer on the Super Nintendo.
You're living the dream, my friend.
Yeah, that's the last time.
That's fine.
When I could tell which one Valderrama was for Colombia because he had an afro on the thing. It was just a pixel with an afro. And that's how I knew like Carlos Valderrama was that player. But apart from that, I had no fucking clue about anything about football games. I have no interest in football. I'm really sorry to anybody who does. But to me, it's just the most boring UFC, MMA, yes, for sure. I'm down all day long. But yeah. Go on to you were saying.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of sports games. I used to be as a kid, I used to love them, but as I've got older, I don't play them so much. But yeah, they've got the Journey now, which is basically like career mode. It's got an actual story mode in FIFA now, which we never really had. So you can be like, you start off as this kind of like nobody, and it's about building your career actually as a professional athlete, which is a really interesting take on it. I know when at E3,
kind of like, isn't that like Championship Manager? Kind of, when you're basically like building a team to get all the way to the championship. It's got no real ending though, because it's kind of like, well, you know, as many leagues as just they'll throw out,
I suppose,
right?
but with this, you're the player. So rather than you like picking the team, you're the player. You get to like customize him, make him who he is, and exactly the same sort of thing as that. But you take him through from like a nobody to like the highest paid footballer in the world, sort of thing, biggest transfer. So it's a nice little touch they've brought in there, and apparently a lot of people were asking for it. I've been out of touch with sports games for a while, so I have no idea, but apparently that's something that a lot of people were really, really keen on. The launch was pretty hilarious at E3. To be honest, it was just so, I don't know, it was just really weird. Like, they had this guy come on, and he's obviously a professional actor. He was very dedicated to it. He came out and he was like, you know, I can do this. When I started out, you know, I was nobody. I come out, and it just seemed, it really was jarring against the rest of the conference. It was kind of weird, and everyone was sort of looking at each other, going, "Okay, I see what you tried to do there. I appreciate it, but it was a bit jarring, basically, more than anything." But yeah, that's, I think the last sports game was FIFA 14 was the last one I played. Didn't play a lot of it. But the Journey that could entice me into FIFA 17. It could get me in.
I don't think. To be fair, I don't think it's going to be something I'm any interested in, or not because the game sucks. I'm sure it's a great game. Yeah. You know, it's just I have no interest in the sport.
Yeah,
that's like you know, if somebody was like, "Hey man, play like MotoGP, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I don't care. You know, I don't give a shit.
Doesn't do it for you.
Like, I like bikes, and I like watching not MotoGP. I like the one where there's loads of crashes in the country. Like they do it in the countryside, because I like carnage. Because nothing brings people together more than drama,
yeah,
and
it's
it's
so
like
true.
and controversy, and so. And,
I think 9 times out of 10, if someone's sitting there and they're watching racing on TV, you know that deep down, secretly, they just want to see someone crash. It's a terrible thing, but that's part of human nature. Right. You just want to see it happen,
and that's why people watch NASCAR.
Yeah, because you actually do get the crashes there. Because Formula One's boring as shit.
Flying on that shit, man. Those motherfuckers get air, and it's like, oh damn, fuck, that looks brutal. And then people in the crowd are dying and shit. And that's again,
why
it's
are we
horrid.
At that? Yeah, it's a terrible thing.
No, fuck it, I'm gonna laugh because no, screw it, because you're
human
gonna
nature. You're
gonna watch it.
It's a way of coping.
Shit. It's like watching it's like where that phrase comes from. Watching a train crash in slow motion, you can't look away. It's like, oh man, I don't, it's horrible that I'm watching this, but I can't not look. So it's, you see it and you're like, shit. Like, it's like the same way with fighting. Like, a good fight break out, as long as it's not like, even if it is a bit naughty. But if a fight breaks out, whether you see it on the phone or whether you see it in public, like you want to see. It's in your nature to be like, I must spectate this event.
Yeah,
I have to see how this comes about. A few years ago, I was driving and just on the point of fighting, and if these guys are listening, can somebody tell me the outcome of this? But I was driving home from work, and I'm not going to go into the semantics of how it happened, but basically there was a dude in there were 2 lanes. I was in the right lane, and on the left lane something had happened with the guy next to me and the guy in front of him. Mm-hmm. And basically the dude in front of him got out the car with a tire iron.
The fuck?
Like a jack, not the jack, but the actual thing to take the tire off, the bolts off.
Jesus.
And he was like fucking copping an attitude. And the dude that I could see next to me in his car took his fucking jumper off, like his sweater, wrapped it round his arm and got out of the car. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be sick. Because like one of them's obviously got a weapon, but the other one obviously knows that he has to like deflect it with his arm. So he's not a fool. He's like,
he's done this before.
Yeah, so
he's a professional road rager.
This is not his first barbecue. So like, I was like, right, so this is about to get real. And then the lane was clear in front of me. People are beeping at me to move. I had to move because obviously I'm blocking traffic now. I don't want to be that dick. And I never saw the outcome of that. And it was a one-way street. It was a dual carriageway as well, so I couldn't like
swing round and just come back and check it out.
There was no way I was going to see that again unless I wanted to be late for work, like late home, get stuck in more traffic, and fuck that. So I really, if anybody knows what the outcome of that event was, it was like in 2000 and maybe 2009.
Stuff like that, 2010. Stuff like that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. You'll be on your deathbed and be like, I never knew the outcome of that fight.
That's it. I'm like, can a higher power tell me how that can you like drop that video in my brain of me, or maybe somebody recorded. I don't know what happened then, but I just really wish I saw the outcome of that fucking event.
I don't think I've ever witnessed a fight.
No,
other than
I've seen loads.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I'm from the wrong side of the tracks, man.
All the time, man.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually witnessed like a proper fisticuff fight ever, like just break out in general.
I mean, they don't exist. Fisticuffs in the manner of which
wrestling.
You describe. It's not like you, sir, have offended my
honor,
sensibilities.
Yeah.
We shall duel now. That doesn't roll down like that. It's always like a sucker punch, or someone else gets involved and it's 2 or 3 guys, and there is no such thing as a square off fight anymore. I was actually, who was I talking to about this the other day? I can't remember, but there is a law that exists. Okay, so before I go into that, there is a guy walking. There are people that walk around dressed up as superheroes, beating bad guys up. You know this, yes?
Oh yeah, thanks America.
Right. So for people who don't know, Google it. It's fucking insane.
It's real.
I think it started off from maybe Kick-Ass.
I would like to think that it was before that, but I think we've got a lot of people now who really should know better and are better off sitting at their desks at work than wearing spandex.
Well,
but
okay, so one of the guys, I don't know his name. He is known as he's an MMA fighter, like a pro MMA fighter, or an amateur, or like a semi-pro fighter. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this black dude, he rocks around like with a suit on, like dressed up as a superhero. And he rocks around with a crew of superheroes, inverted commas, right? And they walk around stopping crime. right? Kind of like the Guardian Angels, you know, like
yeah,
kind of like that, except not really.
but in more
like
colourful
every
spandex
night, not
outfits.
just, yeah, like every night, not just the Friday. Like, dude's got like a full-on mask, everything. Like, he looks like Steel, like when Shaquille O'Neal was dressed like a superhero, and that's the horrible movie. That's what he looks like. Anyway, so he rocks around, and there is a law that exists. This is where I was going with it. There is a law that exists. I think it's Baltimore, like one of those old laws that states that you can, if you have a disagreement with another gentleman, you can have a police officer, like referee that fight. He can officiate that fight.
Really?
Yeah, and you can settle your differences with that gentleman right there and then.
We need more laws like that.
Yeah. So there is
the biggest guy's gonna win, or the smartest guy.
Time. No,
sometimes the smartest fighter, but
whatever a guy looks like has nothing
insane.
to do with the ability, his fighting ability. So this dude, this superhero guy, he's walking around doing his superhero stuff, and with his friends or whatever. And then like someone video this like World Star. If I could find the link, I'm sure I'll find it and I can put it in the description. But I don't know how YouTube are gonna feel about that if I do it, breaking some copyright law or whatever. But anyway. The dude is a superhero guy. He like has a disagreement with some drunk dude and his friend, and he's with his crew, like his superhero crew. So he just says like, "Oh, hold on a minute," before we kick off, and he gets a police officer. He goes, "I need you to officiate this, like to make sure I'm enforcing this law." And the cop's like, "Okay, cool, no worries."
He's loving
it. Like
he's
it's
like, "This is the best day of my life."
It's still a valid law. Like, so yeah, we're gonna fucking just throw down. Let's do this. So the police officer, when he has to basically be like, "Oh, you know, once opponent is down, no kicking to the floor or whatever." Like, it's a fair fight. And that's how gentlemen deal with their agreement. So this fucking superhero dude takes his mask off, takes his gear. He's like, "Let's throw down," and he fucks this dude up. Like,
oh my
like this
God,
dude's
man.
like he's like. I mean, I wouldn't want to get into a fight with a MMA fight. I mean, I've sparred with MMA fighters and they kick my ass pretty easily. You know, it's very different when you're getting punched in the face by somebody who's like trained killer. Life is very fleeting at that point.
Yeah, things come into perspective when someone's smacking you in the face. Generally,
and it's not like oh, I can just smack him back. It's like oh,
where am
I? I'm gonna miss. This guy's gonna keep punching me until I'm on the ground. So the dude he's fighting is like some fucking normal guy, like he's average Joe who's drunk and he's acting like a douchebag. So they go at it, and he starts throwing leg kicks, and he's like checking him, just starts giving him some leg kicks, and the guy's he doesn't know what to do, and then he fucking takes him down. The cop's like, "All right, cool, fight's over." Like, he fucked this dude up. Guy came back for round 2, got fucked up again, and then his friend tried to jump in. The cop's like, "Nope. No, that's not the fucking rule here. You step the fuck back." And the dude's like, "I want to fight him now. Officiate this fight." And the guy's like, "You want to throw it out to it?" And that's when the video ends. I think like the superhero guys' mates, they sort of jump in like, no, that's it. We're done now. Like, this is dealt with.
You proved a point. Move away.
Yeah, like your friend's been dealt with. Just fuck off.
Take him home.
Yeah,
take him home. Scrub him up
while you both can. Like. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what my fucking point was about that. I think we were just talking about when a good fight breaks out. When a good fight breaks out, yeah. So
yeah, no, never seen one. Never seen one.
That's a shame. It's
I'd like to think we've moved on. We can solve our issues in a better way.
That's
but
animalistic.
now I know people enough. Like, I know that that's not true.
Yeah.
That's the best. You know, we all think that. We always like, you know, oh, we've moved on in society, and I'd like to, you know, we're intelligent enough beings that we can solve our issues by talking them out. But sometimes someone just needs a smack in the face.
Yeah, just a high five with a brick.
Yeah.
Or a chair in the face. To be fair, like I'm kind of going to swing it back to games, because that's what I think is great about games, because it's like online gaming specifically, you can, like, as long as you're not an arse about it, you can go on and you can play other people, and like that is a way to settle your arguments, whether you're in the same room. Yeah. On Street Fighter, for example, like you can take that aggression out in a different way. And go that way. I mean, so I guess some people might be like, "It's not the same." Like, yeah, I get it. I get it, asshole. It's not the same. I understand, but like, it's about as close as a fucking 12-year-old kid's gonna get.
Yeah, it's a way to vent as well.
To fucking up another kid, you know, and sorting out your differences. I wish we could do that when I was a kid.
Well, I just play Street Fighter to settle all your differences. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Doesn't work that way anymore.
No.
So, what are you playing at the moment?
Oh, crikey.
I'm sure you're playing like various games, but
yeah, I've got a few on the go actually. I've been returning a little bit to my Mega Drive.
Okay.
I've got completely lost with Theme Park. Like, I forgot how much I love that game, and also
was that on the PC?
Yeah, I think it's been on like every single possible
That's
iteration
like that
ever.
popular style, kind of like click and point, create a theme park.
Create a theme park, I completely forgot
I played
how
that on our old fucking Mac years ago, I think.
annoying the tunes are. You know, like when you're going around and like you're scrolling the screen across your theme park, each individual ride has its own theme tune.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and when you're thinking like 16-bit console, it's not
Sounds
great.
like bullshit.
Yeah, it's just it's grim. So yeah, I kind of forgot how annoying some of the music is on it, but yeah, that's sort of been like taking up way too much of my time. Prison Architect. Wow.
What's that?
Prison Architect is a little sim game where you basically
On what console?
well, it's on PC. I've got it on PS4. I'm assuming it's on Xbox as well.
Prison Arc. So you build a prison.
You build a prison. There's also a story mode in it, which is more of a, that's kind of the tutorial, the actual kind of story mode. It's a long kind of 6-episode tutorial, but incredibly in depth and surprising depth as well. It keeps you. It really does, and that's a time sink. It's an absolute time sink.
So, talk to me like I'm not 10. Talk to me like I'm 6. It's like let's say theme park world, but for a prison.
Yes.
Right.
That is probably the best description of it. It is like, think theme park for prisons.
Right. Okay.
And you can control anything about your prisoners' regime. So if you'll have anything from low security risk prisoners all the way up to sort of like death row and supermax prisoners and everything. You can literally decide each individual routine hour by hour. You can decide who comes into your prison with regards to, I'm going to take this many low security, this many high security.
What's the
end goal?
Yeah, what's the end game here?
For me personally, is see how big a riot I can cause, and then bring in the
okay.
firing squad. But I'm sure the end goal, there's achievements on it where you have to like, get 500 prisoners and things like this, which is surprisingly hard. Actually, it's taking a lot of time for me.
Right. Okay. Because I was like, they're gonna give you a chance to like build a prison, and then they're gonna put like maybe somebody tries to escape. Does that happen often?
Oh yeah. So many people escape. Yeah, they try and escape. They dig tunnels, or they try and dig tunnels, or they'll be like taking tools from the workshop and stabbing each other up in the canteen and stuff.
Wow.
And
okay.
Yeah, it gets a bit brutal.
So this is an R-rated game. It's an adult game.
But it's all done in little cartoony kind of like pixels. So it's not
as
that
long
bad.
as you put it in cartoon.
As long as you put it in cartoon, it's fine. We've learned that from South Park.
I was just about to say that. You're living in my head rent free. I was just about to say that. South Park. Fractured butthole. I mean, the fractured butthole.
Yeah, looking forward to that when we eventually get it.
Yeah, so that's pretty sadistic. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty twisted. You're like, control all of it. I want to know what you're doing, when you're doing, how you're doing it.
Yeah, it's if you've got a bit of a god complex, it's a great game.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great game for a god complex.
And so we got theme park and basically theme park prison experience.
Yeah, pretty much. And obviously, I want to spend some time with Lara Croft. I haven't even cracked the open yet.
Have you played Thumper yet?
No.
Right.
I haven't.
Thumper is this amazing game that's been in development for a few years, which is it's like a rhythm-based game.
I have seen this because this is available for VR, isn't it?
On VR. That's
yes.
Right, yeah. Now I played the first 15 minutes of it. Mm-hmm. And I've known about this game for a while. I was really impressed by it. I gave it to my girlfriend, who clearly doesn't know the left from her right, which, if anybody's played it, will understand what I'm talking about with the left turns, and you have to ride the fucking sound, basically, ride the percussion, right, whatever the fuck it is. But yes, it's out for VR, because I know you have VR, but I haven't used it yet.
No, it's been sitting there teasing me.
Yeah. So when did you pick it up?
Picked it up after work on Thursday.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Went out Friday night, so hadn't played it. Spent today like.
Oh, you went out. You had a meat. You went to a meat place last night. I saw that on your Facebook.
Oh yeah, went to Meat Mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Do you like your meat? I was going to say. Where is this podcast going? Where is this going? Hashtag Leo got dumped. Gonna get myself into trouble. Shit.
So not been able to play it yet. My plan was to have everything rigged up. I've been basically reorganising my games room, so I was hoping to have everything done by the release of VR. I was meant to be.
I don't think games room is the right way to go. I think Fortress of Gamitude.
Fortress of Gamitude would probably be a better name for it. But I was meant to be in the third wave batch, which initially meant I wouldn't be getting a headset until January. So I hadn't planned on having
Pre-ordered, right?
Yeah, pre-ordered, but not straight off the bat. So I was told that I'd be in batch 3. I would get mine in, early January. I was like, okay, I'll have to live with it. Hopefully someone I know will get one before then. I can have a play whilst I wait, sort of thing. And then lo and behold, it was like, no, we're not doing batches anymore. We're just going to make sure everyone who's pre-ordered it can just have it.
I really want to play it, but there are a few things that hold me back. One, I'm not a gazillionaire.
Vomiting is something that's holding me back. I think motion sickness, Drive Club apparently is the one that fucks you up.
Yeah, because it fucks with your equilibrium, your center of balance and shit.
Some games are better than others. Not every game will cause you to vomit as quickly. But the one that's really stuck out with people has been Drive Club. That's the one that has made people.
It's got 30
really
games
suffer.
on launch, right?
60 games on launch.
60.
Yeah,
okay, my
60
bad.
games on
Sorry.
launch.
There's me changing lanes again, coming out of my lane,
Sorry,
doing that
Nick,
again, not knowing the answer.
But yeah, I mean, 60 games on launch, which is fantastic, and the fact that when you think is it over 40 million PS4 consoles in homes right now?
Are you gonna go pro?
What, VR? Or vomiting?
No, you're gonna go PS Pro when it comes out. PS4 Pro.
To be honest with you, the PS Pro, I thought about it. It came into the idea of
November 10th, right? I think I looked at it last night in preparation for this.
Yeah. I toyed with the idea. I really did think about it, and they said it's if you've got a 4K TV, it makes sense. And then they said if you're getting the VR headset, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're not really going to be losing out on the experience by not having it.
Yeah, it's not true 4K, right? Is that right?
Yeah, apparently it's not. Well, there's been a lot of mudslinging between Sony and Microsoft on this one, so I'm just gonna.
Do Microsoft have a headset? Is that the HTC Vive? Is that right? Is that what they call it?
I think that's yeah. I think that's the one that's more. Yeah, the Vive is more Windowsy based. I think more PC based.
Android or Windows or something.
That's the PC based, and obviously you got the Oculus Rift as well. But there's so much now. It's becoming so much more accessible, and I was hoping that
who was it who bought Oculus Rift? Someone bought that. Google
from Lucky.
Google, was it Google? So yeah, somebody bought it off them.
Bought it off Lucky.
Right. Who? Yeah.
He's had the rough time recently.
So it's not Google that has it though, is it? It's somebody else. Because Sony had their Morpheus.
Yeah.
Which is now the PS4 headset VR.
Yep.
And then obviously you got the Vibe, and then Oculus Rift was in development, and the people were like, "Oh yeah, the second generation is going to be amazing." And then some big huge company bought it. I think it might be Google, but I could be wrong. Again, anybody that correct me, it might be me fucking stepping out my lane again. But if anybody knows the answer, fucking tell me. But I know somebody bought Oculus Rift and they own it now, and I don't know, man. It just feels too gimmicky for me. Do you know what? You know what it was? The reason why, barring obviously the fact, again, I'm not a gazillionaire, but
this is far more affordable.
No, what I mean is 3D TVs.
Yeah, that was the ultimate gimmick. I had one.
I don't want to have to. I want to get home and I want to fucking turn my TV on.
Yeah.
And I want to kill shit. That's all I want to do. I want to get from point A to point B, kill everything in between, and that's it. That's all I want to do. Or a story during line, Uncharted, Tomb Raider, whatever. I don't want to fucking put a headset on. I want to put glasses on for me to watch, and that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of this being kind of the same kind of No Man's Sky gimmicky thing.
Man, nothing's that bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's not lump it into that turret with that brush.
But give it time. Give it time. I mean, it's just out. People might be like, you might see, you don't know, you might see VR headsets just collecting dust in a year's time. Like the Wii U, just fucking sitting there.
I mean, let's do it. I think I'm a gaming optimist. I wouldn't, when anything new comes out, everyone's really, really quick to poo-poo it, and everyone's really, really quick to go, oh, it won't take off, oh, it's a gimmick, oh, I don't see the point in it, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I really don't think we're going to have that issue. I think
if it sticks around, then I'll save up and pick one up.
We've had so much financial investment into the VR and also AR market. I think that it's something that people are taking a lot more seriously.
Do you know what? Just on a side note, do you know, the thing that will probably make this succeed,
porn.
Which is
totally. That's it. That's the reason we've got DVDs.
Yeah, that's why
we have Blu-ray. It's like
VHS
porn.
exists the same way because of that. It's the porn industry.
Yeah, the porn industry, and they are 100% behind this. They're already getting their full-on 360 camcorder rigs.
Do you know who Brian Redband is?
Why do I feel I should know?
If you don't, it's okay. He's
No.
on. He does guest a lot of on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's a good
Okay.
friend of him. He's a comedian. He also runs a Death Squad podcast.
Okay.
And he was talking about he watched porn on the Vibe,
Oh yeah.
and he was like, it is super immersive because it's like you are like right
Yeah.
there. You're there. You
Yeah.
have such a much more intense connection with that porn
Mm-hmm.
star because like it feels like you're fucking her. When you're obviously not, you're just jacking yourself off. But it feels like you're
Let's
like,
put it like
doing that shit.
we've got like our main sense is sight. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing that our brain is most dependent on, and we will override every other sense to go by what our eyes tell us. So no matter whether we're touching something, whether we're tasting something or smelling something, if our eyes are telling us no, that's not happening, our brains are going to go, well, didn't see it, didn't happen.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
how
it.
I feel about traffic lights. If I don't see it, it's not happening.
You've
Keep
seen
going.
one, you've seen them all. Don't worry about
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Orange, red. I'm not sure. Just keep going. Speed up, for fuck's sake.
it. But yeah, I mean, even now, like they're not massive quality. It's not the same as like looking at a high quality monitor. Even even when they're like saying it's 1080p, it's nowhere
There's a
near.
separation between you and that device. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, even with the headset, the textures aren't great. If you're looking at something as being kind of in the distance, it's still very pixelated. Like it's not true to life. Like don't get really excited about VR thinking, oh my god, it's going to be like I can climb Everest. It's going to look like it. It's not. You see the screens and you see what it looks like when people are doing let's plays on it, but in reality, it's still quite pixelated. You can see like a kind of mesh there, and when things are close up to you, not so much. And some headsets suffer from it more than others. But when it's like the draw distance on it, when you're looking at the things in the distance, that's when they start to get really pixelated and have jagged edges. So at the moment, like a lot of the games you'll notice are very indoorsy and very enclosed space, and there are a few that are quite open and outdoors. There is actually one that allows you to theoretically climb Everest, but it's really not a lot going on there. It's not great.
I mean, I think this is probably the first step into what we will call from Star Trek, the holodeck.
Mate, I would never leave the house. I'm honestly getting
would
to that.
you?
I'm getting to that point now where I'm already talking about at work about the potential of me being able to work remotely through VR. Like, how soon will this happen? Much to my boss's disgust.
So there's a film called Surrogates. I don't know if you've seen that with Bruce Willis.
No, I don't think I have.
He's like, basically everybody in the world is like a robot. Mm-hmm. And like out in the real world, going out, working their jobs, whatever.
Yeah.
But at home, they're in like a fucking VR machine.
That would be my
So they're
dream right
controlling that robot. It looks like them, but
Yeah.
a younger version of them. And they're out in the world doing their thing whilst they're actually lying in this pod.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
That we're there.
There you go.
We're getting there. I mean, I'd like to think like Ready Player One, not so long ago, and like the
coming
haptic.
out.
Yeah, we're gonna have a movie,
Spielberg,
which is gonna be
Spielberg.
amazing. I'm quite excited because I think Spielberg could do it justice because of the the themes that he uses with family and things like that in his movies, and I think he kind of has that kind of touching
I
feeling.
feel
with
it's
his
going to be
movies that
like
could work.
Tron meets that game. I think it's called The Other World or whatever. It's an old fucking like old school fucking game.
Okay.
But yeah, or like Abe's Odyssey kind of style kind of game. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. I want to see what the movie looks like.
I'm really excited about the movie. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what direction he's taken it and how he's kind of done. Because obviously you read the book in your mind, you create this world, you know of what it looks like, and I want to see how other people interpret that. So being able to see like filmmakers taking a book and doing their iteration of it, it's really cool to see like how they visualized it from the same words that you saw. It's pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty interesting. But the idea of like haptic suits.
What's a haptic suit for people who don't know, like me?
Haptic suits is basically like a full body suit you'd be able to wear that'd be able to give you feedback from a game.
So they did that. What they wanted to do that, or they did that once.
There was
which
one on
like-
Kickstarter. I think it was actually on a Kickstarter type.
Well,
thing.
they did it with porn. I think I remember this. They
More
tried
likely.
to do it once, but where basically you wear like an
Yeah.
electrical suit, and now what they've started to do, because I don't know this from personal experience, if my girlfriend's listening, it's basically like they do this with cam models now, like
Okay.
the girls who obviously you pay to like see them naked or whatever,
Yeah.
and then like guys can, if they pay her money.
Mm-hmm.
they can press buttons that will stimulate like the Sibian, I think is what they're sat on.
Oh really? Oh
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
Like,
yeah, it looks a
for
little
people
bit
who
like
don't know, it's just basically like riding a mechanical ball that doesn't move, but it's got like a vibrating option for the ladies.
Yeah.
Or men, if that's what you're inclined. And it will, I'm sure there are various attachments, and then guys can pay the chick money through the fucking app.
Wow.
And then whilst they're watching her, they can like press buttons to get her off, and then give her more money and all this shit.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It exists.
I live a sheltered life.
It's out there in the world. It's very, it's like basically I'm paying this chick to have an orgasm is what we're saying here. And
there are worse ways to
But then
get
the
paid.
guys are getting, I'm sure they're getting their rocks off too.
Exactly.
So they're watching it online.
I suppose everyone's
So
doing
there is something akin to that, and I think a few years ago they wanted to do like a sort of like a bodysuit thing. I think they tried it out, but someone like I don't know, you'll probably give somebody a fucking seizure. Like, don't take it off, keep it on, just keep going. I don't give a fuck if you can't breathe. Don't give a fuck.
But yeah, I mean, this came out. I can't remember the name of the website that it was on, but it was something akin to Kickstarter, and that was earlier actually this year. It got pulled in the end. But we already got things like haptic gloves. Like that's something that is real. It's in development. That's happening where you can actually get a sense of cold and of heat. That's something which fascinates me. The idea that eventually you're going to be able to sit in a game and like the immersion will be you put on a suit,
like smell-o-vision,
and you can feel it. Oh man, no. We've had what was it they came up with for the fractured butthole, the farting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that. No one needs that.
That used to exist. The smell-o-vision used to be a thing.
Smell-o-vision was a thing. You scratch and sniff when it came up on the TV, and you sniff a piece of paper.
Well, they did it in cinemas years ago, before our time.
Mm-hmm. Speak for yourself, I'm old.
No, not that much older.
Even before
not that much older. I think it was before our time.
Well,
maybe like late 70s.
Oh yeah, definitely
before your time and mine. They would release a scent. For example,
Really?
let's say you were watching an advert about buttered popcorn, so they would release that scent. But the problem was that scent with smells is that it lingers.
Yeah.
So then, if you wanted to introduce a new smell to get the player, like for that 4D experience, you ever been to 4D experience?
no.
Okay, so I went to one in America, which is the Treasure Island 4D.
Okay.
I think it was America. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, Treasure Island 4D experience where you watch it with 3D glasses.
Yeah.
But they also like little things like one of the characters, a bird shat on his head, and what they do is they drop a drop of water on the audience's head.
See, that's cool. Yeah.
To immerse you at the same time. You're like, oh god, I'm in the fucking thing. But yeah, again, the problem with that smell-o-vision shit was that it smells linger. They'll you can't
Introducing a new
unless you
scent
have a
to
fan
actually
that
grim.
fucking blows it away.
Yeah.
It kind of ruins the whole experience for everybody.
True.
But VR is, I don't know. I'm just still stuck on it. What I do like about, I can't speak for anything else, but what I do like about the PS4, and maybe you can weigh in on this, is how, like, correct me if I'm wrong, you can play the PlayStation VR.
Yep.
And what I'm doing, you can also see on the television.
Yeah, so
like
you can
if I'm
actually
playing
have,
it, you can be sat next to me,
Totally.
and not just me sitting with a headset on, and you're like,
what's going on?
My
No,
thumbs.
totally. You can actually mirror what's being seen in the headset on the screen.
But
So
you can also cut it off. I can just sit
you can
here.
have it so it's just you and no one can see what's on the screen. You can also have there are multiplayer games where someone can sit there with the headset on, and the other person can be sitting next to them with the controller and still be playing the same game as them. So, I mean, there's still options. It's nice that they've thought of that, actually, to be honest with you. It's nice that the option is there, that, like, with a lot of the multiplayer games that they've got with it, you can just sit on the sofa, still, local co-op, which is something that I would love to see in more games anyway. But you can have someone in the headset seeing it in VR and the person sitting next to them playing on the console with the controller, using the TV screen, which is great.
I remember a few years ago, they released, it was a very fleeting thing, but they released a body, almost like a stab-proof vest kind of thing.
Okay. This is the one that made you feel like you were getting shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm not surprised that didn't really take off, because who the fuck wants to sit in their living room and feel like they're getting shot?
Well, I remember the advert was like the kid was playing Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Or Killer Instinct, or one of the old ones.
Yeah.
And as he was playing it, he was like feeling like he was getting hit. And I was like, this doesn't feel like this hasn't, even in my young,
like child abuse.
In my young age, when I saw that advert, I was like, that's almost a really cool idea, but what if like Raiden rips my head off? Like,
that was your main
what
concern.
What is this gonna fucking do? Because you're a kid, so your imagination kind of runs wild. So I mean, like have you ever seen Starship Troopers?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, I
okay.
love that film.
So do you know there's a scene in that film where they're playing laser tag?
Yeah.
Right. And they shoot each other, and then when they shoot each other, they kind of get
Yeah,
electrocuted.
like proper
and,
convulse.
and,
Yeah.
and they fall over.
You would think it was to be that, right?
Well,
That
no.
exists. That is another thing as well. Electric shock vest.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that, and then I went laser tag for the first time in a really long time, and this little kid popped out of nowhere, and I shot him. He was the first kid I shot, and I was so upset.
Whoa, let's go back to that. The first kid you shot.
Yeah, so in
laser tag.
Yeah,
Cool.
so they were like, okay, ready, set, go, and then
Yeah.
you release the teams out into the ether of the arena, and then the first kid I came across from behind shot him when he wasn't looking. He was a kid, he was a child. He must have been about, I mean, I was in my 20s. And I was actually chaperoning a group of kids.
Aww.
You know, when I used
youth work, yeah.
Yeah, I used to do youth work, yeah. And I was chaperoning these kids. Anyway, so I shot one of them who was pissing me off, and was really, really disappointed that the kid did not fall down and convulse. I was like, oh,
this is not what I signed up for.
This, I don't know why I had that thought in my head that was going to happen, but I've just been brainwashed by movies. In my head, I was like, that's exactly how this rolls, and it is not how it rolls for obvious reasons. No. And I was like, fucking. And like the funny thing is that this vest on the kid was like, on me it was like way too small because you know I'm fucking huge, and on him it was way too big. So it was kind of like this vest with like this little head, bobble head sticking out, and these two tiny arms like that are holding the gun, but hit the sleeves of his like jumper are over his hands, like you know, like this kid is just wearing clothes like way too big for him, and I'm like, fuck you, kid, and I shot him, and I was like, oh, he's not dying. What
happened?
What's happening right now?
This
Why?
one's broke.
I was like, and then I realized, I was like, you fucking dummy. Like, fuck, what asshole is going to create that fucking game? Yes, obviously, Leo, you dick. That's my roundabout way of saying I would shoot a child with a laser if I had the choice. Like, if it would make him convulse and he was pissing me off, I'd be like, yeah, piss your pants, kid.
Wow.
I'm
It's good to
I'm
have
a
options.
father.
Yeah, you're a dad.
I'm a father. I have a child. And sometimes I'd fucking, if I could get away with it, I'm like, you're pissing me off, kid. Just fucking touch some high voltage.
But yeah, like the fact that even exists, I'd love to meet the guy who thought that was a good idea.
So that's a real thing, you think? You know this for a fact?
Yeah, this is a real thing. There is a shock vest that they came up with, and it was related to games. I saw as well, actually, which was kind of weird, which was it was like part of a charity blood drive. It was a case of like, yeah, this is where it gets weird.
God.
It was a charity blood drive where players would play latest Street Fighter, and as their character got beaten up, it would withdraw blood from them. That's real. That happened, and it was like a gimmick to try and like increase.
How much blood?
Well, like not enough to make you pass out or anything, which is a shame because
that
would have been better.
Well, then
like
that
if your character
because
loses.
when it says KO, you want to look over.
They should
and
be
see,
taking a good 5 points. I think you can go with 3. I think 3 is the point where you're gonna.
Well, the body only
fail.
has like 8, right?
Yeah,
8.
I think if
well,
they take
9 because
5.
the brain holds a pint somewhere. I'm pretty sure. I learned that from The Simpsons. When Homer Simpson gives blood,
wow.
Like, well, the body only has 8 pints, and he's like 9 pints. Is it 8? Yeah, 8 pints. Body only has 8 pints. He's like, no, the brain it's got a hidden one. 9. Oh, fucking Homer. But anyway, so you've got this VR thing. You got to let me know how that works out.
Yeah, no, we'll tell you
in about 2 years when I can afford to buy one. Because they're expensive.
No, like
man.
yeah, I mean, well,
it's like you got to buy. Okay, so
comparatively though, this is like cheap. Like when you think about it, comparatively, and it's apparently like I haven't used the Oculus Rift, but from people I know who have used that and the Vive and this have said this is by far the most comfortable, the easiest to set up, because obviously you don't need a gaming PC for this, which, let's be honest, like not everyone has access to. You haven't got like high-end graphics cards and whatnot. Like not everyone has access to that.
You do.
Well, I need a new graphics card, but it's not a bad PC. Let's be honest.
It's water cooled though, right?
No, it's actually not. I'm still on fans. I'm old school.
Lying piece of shit. You're like, oh no, it's just a supercomputer. It's fine.
Don't worry about it. It's cool.
I hacked into NASA with it. It's no problem. Yeah. So I mean, okay. So I looked at it last night, and I was like, I'm just curious. Again, it's sort of anticipation for this conversation. So I looked, I was like, oh, okay. So I'm sure we're going to end up talking about this. So let me look into it. I watched a few videos and reviews, and just to get a bit of an idea. And yeah, you are right. They do say it's the most comfortable headset to wear, especially if
Yeah.
you've got glasses. You can also still separate yourself from it, you know, if you want to look at your phone or do other things.
And you can move like the entire like headset bit that goes in front of your eyes. You can actually completely adjust the distance from your eyes with that, which is fantastic.
That's the most expensive part, really, is the lens that's used on the inside.
Yeah.
Like the headset and everything else isn't expensive, but the lens itself is the most expensive bit, because that's what sort of like doesn't make you throw the fuck up when you look at it immediately. Which like so. I mean, I'll go on to my next point shortly, but basically, yes, it's like that's like £350, right?
350, yeah.
$350, let's say $400, whatever, for the Americans or Canadians.
Yeah.
And then you've got to buy, and if you don't have it, you've got to buy the camera, which is about £20.
More than that now, actually. I think.
Is it more?
I think they've got a new camera out now, which is I think about 40.
It's exactly the same spec.
It's exactly the same spec, just looks different.
Yeah, it's just rounder.
Yeah.
The other one's
yeah,
cube.
It's a nice look, but
And
it's
so
not.
you got to buy the
£40
camera,
worth.
and then then there's like a little like a splitter almost for a HDMI that exists, and you got to split it.
You don't. I don't think you have to have that though.
I think you do. I looked at the setup.
Really?
Yeah, I was watching someone talk about the setup yesterday, and they were like, you have to have this because that way you can split if you're playing that way you can mirror basically.
Yeah, it's not necessary to use.
Yeah, but it basically plugs into the headset basically, HDMI, so you can disconnect it whenever.
Yeah.
That's again what I heard. Again, anybody can correct me. I saw that last night, and I was like, okay, so let's talk numbers. We're talking about somewhere in the region of £450 to £500, depending if you get games and other things with it.
To be fair, there's also a lot of free games. We've obviously got the demo disc that goes in there, and that's another point of contention because we only got 8 games on our demo disc, and like US got 18.
Fucking
yeah, so they got a lot more, but the vast majority of them are available for download off of the PSN store. So that's something at least. And there are like some free games on there and some like really nice like experience games, not just like, I mean, I'm desperate to play horror games on there, but at the same time I'm shitting bricks about the idea of playing horror games.
I'm curious to see what Outlast looks like. Outlast 2. Have you played the first one?
A little, yeah.
Did you play Biohazard 7, the demo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was scary.
That was awesome.
That was good.
That was so cool. And the thought of doing that in VR though, I'll shit my pants.
I would love to see.
Shit my pants.
Would have loved to have seen PT.
Oh my god, yeah. Well,
and I don't know whether or not maybe there's like a default setting somewhere that maybe they hid it. If somebody still has the PT trailer, maybe if there is something in the coding hidden to say that it has VR support, who knows? I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt we'd be that lucky, but
yeah, you never know.
That's that's one of
people have found things in games.
Yeah, exactly. And we're still finding stuff in games that are like 20, 30 years old that no one ever realised were there. So you can only hope.
I mean, that game with that would be amazing to see that on VR and experience that. I'm
waiting for the first death. I'm waiting for the first death by VR because I'm reckoning that's going to happen around Christmas.
Yeah, probably.
I'm totally reckoning that we're actually going to see, like in the news, first person dying whilst playing VR from just sheer terror.
I will definitely throw up if I play it.
Oh yeah, I mean, they said that you need to kind of build up your tolerance. So they said like start playing it like for like 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and then like give yourself a rest.
I have no tolerance to that. I'll tell you now. I have a 3DS. From when it first came out.
Yeah, some people get rather nauseous with that.
I can't play it on 3D at all. I can't do it. I bought Star Fox 64, whatever, Star Fox 3DS when that came out, aged like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. And I played that and immediately put it on. I was like, okay, let me see what this shit looks like, because I bought it with the console. So I bought like a second-hand one, and nope.
Really?
It just throws my fucking equilibrium off.
Did you try sort of like just because you can adjust how prominent the 3D is?
In no way, shape can I do it.
Wow.
No, it fucks with me, man. It's just like because I don't play it at a distance either. I play it quite close. Yeah. So usually if I'm playing a handheld, I'm sitting in bed. I'm like lying on my stomach in bed, just chilling out, because I keep them next to my bed. Because for those times, like I want to play a game, and I don't want to get the fuck up to go out, so I'm just luckily I've got it charging next to the bed, so I play that, and I can't do it, man. It just throws me off. It's just like when we were in here earlier with the lights, like my eyes.
Yeah, you got thrown out by like these LED strip lights.
Yeah, so I was like, can you turn the fucking like real light on, please? Because this is fucking with my head, and I can't do it, and I really wish I could experience it, and that's what I'm afraid of, like. you know, if I did purchase something like that substantially,
Yeah, I mean that's what's worrying
driving,
me is that I've potentially shelled out for £350 sick machine.
Yeah,
Like it's going to potentially just make me want to vomit.
Well, it will. I mean, because
it will make
it's
me
going
want
to
to
throw you. It will throw your equilibrium
course.
off because your body is like
My
relies
brain's
on.
saying, my eyes are saying that we're moving, we're doing this. My inner ear is going, nuh-uh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to feel sick.
And you're gonna fall over, cry. That's what would happen to me.
Fall over and cry.
I'd be
Fetal position.
In the fetal position. I'd take. I'd be like, I'd be like a lawnmower man.
Oh.
You know, like if you plug me out too early, I'm fucking retarded. Like that chick in the film when she's like, she got in too deep and had sex with the lawnmower man guy. I don't know his name. And then they unplug her midway, and she's like fucking autistic and shit afterwards. Sorry for anybody who's disabled, but she she was fucked. And that's what would happen to me. Yeah, she'd get wrecked.
Yeah.
And then that's when the SJWs would come out, the social justice warriors. They'd get triggered. They were like, they'd be like, fucking VR is like the devil's work.
Yeah.
Fuck them, get rid of it.
Yeah, we're already waiting because we know what's going to happen. We know people are going to start kicking off about something like games or we've always had
They
the
often
thing.
do. That's the way people are. Everyone's like, oh, you're assuming my gender. Like, no. Oh, you can't do this. Oh,
Yeah.
no, you can't bring out VR games because you're ignoring real life. Like, bitch, VR games started on my phone with Pokemon Go. That was a virtual fucking experience. That got me out of the house.
Yeah.
Walking and shit.
Honestly,
So,
I don't
eat
even
a
want to
dick.
think about how many kilometers I've clocked up on Pokemon Go.
I have none now. I've deleted it off.
Really?
Yeah, I went No Man's Sky on that shit. I was like, I've had enough. The
done.
moment they turned around and said, the moment they put a speed limit on it,
Yeah, you
I was
start getting
like,
that pop up.
I'm out.
You're like, I'm a passenger. Yeah, made it hard to trick it then, huh?
I was like, I'm out. I don't want to do that.
But no, I'm still kind of. I would say I'm not as addicted as I was, but I'm still playing it every day at work. Basically, that's it.
But you're like super high level now.
No, I'm only like level 25.
I got to 17, was like done.
Yeah, I mean level 25.
I couldn't do it. I can understand that. I mean, it took the world by storm.
Yeah, I mean
because it's fucking Pokemon, and I've been saying that for
course.
years. I was like, this is what Nintendo needs to do. Instead of don't release the fucking NX. Yeah, nobody gives a shit, right?
It's a license to print money if they're using their own IPs on mobile.
Yeah,
like it really is a license to print money.
You could release. I'm gonna tell this right now, and I'm sure anybody listening to this will either agree with me, and if you don't, I don't care. But I'm gonna say this, and this I've said this. I said this before Pokemon Go came out on the iPhone. I was like, this is what Nintendo need to do. They release Pokemon, just one Pokemon. Put red and blue out, or red or blue or yellow, whatever the fuck you want to do. Gold
mobile game.
Just put it out as a tap and fucking click game. Don't add internal buys. I mean, add them if you want. No one gives a shit, but don't do it. Just release it at fucking 10 quid.
Yeah.
Right? And I guarantee you, right, people will make millions. They will make so much money.
If they literally did a full re-release.
Yeah.
Full re-release of the original lineup. And
The
they did
original.
it,
You don't even have to fuck
no one
around
cares
with
about
the
new
graphics.
stuff.
Just
do the original.
Release it black and white, and people will fucking pay for
We'll
it.
still pay. They will pay as much for that as they would a normal full price 3DS game. That's the mad thing about it, because nostalgia is powerful and it owns my wallet.
And then start doing that with the other click and point games like Final fucking Fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Any of the tactic games, old NES games, throw that on there. Watch what happens. People will do that maybe on 4 games. Watch how Nintendo make their money back.
Oh god, they're going to cream it. I
But
mean,
the problem
Mario
is they're
Run's
like,
coming out
we
this
have
year.
handhelds as well, so fuck that.
They don't want to kind of cannibalize their market, but they're being very clever with the kind of games that they're releasing. So they're not ones that would easily transfer. Like, for instance, like Pokemon Go obviously physically can't transfer over to like really a handheld, I don't think, in the same way, because it's not got the same sort of setups as you have with mobile with the GPS and, you know.
I mean, if they release maybe a GPS version of the DS.
True, but then you'd have to have that hardware as well. Whereas now, a lot of people have a smartphone, so they were, they released something that I think fitted the genre really well. Same with Mario Run. We'll see how that turns out. But again, it's basically Super Mario where you just tap to jump, from what I see.
But it works though.
Yeah, and again, like that's something that won't cannibalize their market. So they've been very clever, I think, about what they've released, so that they don't do that. The NX though,
sure,
wow,
release...
that's going to be interesting.
Well, here's what I know. 0.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know. Apparently, it's going to be like a dual handheld / home console.
So apparently, it's going to have the ability for you to be able to walk away and carry on playing and just walk around and play as well.
They're doing 4K on it, I think. and they actually have like a graphics engine that's for the first time
Yeah.
in Nintendo's history since the next gen gaming, since the Wii is actually going to stand the test against the current
gonna be
generation.
impressive.
So,
And it's like we're going back
but they're
to
always late
cartridge.
to market with this shit, man. That's the problem. I mean, the Wii, like
Took the world by storm. Let's be honest.
I mean, straight up. The Wii was the
the
game.
universal.
It opened up the demographic. Like, it's not just about.
It's not a games console. It's something else.
Everybody can play it. It's a party console. It's you have a really good time. But you ain't gonna catch me playing the Wii on my own. That's what I'm saying. Like,
really?
You're not. Maybe my Wii, but not the Wii. Like you, unless it's. I'll tell you when you will catch me playing it. Unless it's a light gun simulator.
Yeah.
Shooter.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of
but
game.
even then, there's
House
so
of the
much
Dead.
more fun when there's two of you. Like House of the Dead Overkill, 2-player is fucking hilarious. Like, I've forgotten how many times I've completed that game.
Good.
It's
It's
great.
good with somebody else, but the only other time I would play it on my own, apart from something like that, would be if I'm playing a GameCube game. Where I can, because it plays GameCube games, right? So the only time I'm going to do that is
that version does, but I think that when they first came out, they did.
Yeah, the newer
ones did. They always buy the console that comes out first, guys, because then you're going to get backwards compatibility.
The original PlayStation 3, yeah. But I mean, I won't. That's the only time I played the Wii, and then it sort of fleeted out of existence, where it was like you could pick one up for like £30 now. But I don't know. And then the Wii U is kind of like, why is that even there? Like, why did you throw money at that?
I feel so bad for that, because the Wii U is a fantastic console. Like, people say
Mario Maker. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, like people turn around.
But that's coming off the DS.
Yeah, I saw that. Again, I think they've realised their mistake here was how the Wii U was marketed. The problem isn't the console. I mean, it was never going to be what the Wii was. It couldn't fill that kind of gap because that market had been filled. That had
Do
been
you have
done.
a Wii U?
I don't. I really want one though. I won't lie. I would love a Wii U.
I'll wait till the NX comes out, then I'll pick one up.
Yeah, I think that's basically what's going to happen.
When it's dirt cheap.
When it's dirt cheap, yeah. Because it's a shame because everyone turns around and goes, "Oh, they've got no games for it." They've got a ton of games for it. Nintendo has some of the best IPs there are out there.
Yeah, but it's gimmicky.
But it is gimmicky. Cause
I need to use this pad.
Yeah, that's what got me with it.
And then I've got to
And at the time when it was released,
my eyes.
Yeah.
You know. Like,
and at the time it was released, like you couldn't buy a replacement pad for like months. I don't know how long it was. Nearly a year, I think it was, before you could actually buy those separately. So I was like, if anything happens to it, I've just bought a machine that I can't fucking use properly.
By the way, just before we go forward, I want to say that basically all of the shit that I have said only represents my views, not yours. Whilst we might agree, I'm not speaking on your behalf. I'm just speaking for myself. And obviously, they're not like official things. So if anybody has a disagreement, feel free to voice it. But yeah, it's only my opinion and how I feel about the Wii U. I'm sure it's a fantastic console for other people. If you have a good time, that's great.
Mate, have you ever angered Nintendo fans?
Yes, Sacha Alari.
Vicious.
He was on my third or second podcast.
Yeah. The
worst
worst people to anger in the world, though, Sonic fans. If you badmouth Sonic, you might as well just burn your birth certificate and change your name. Like, seriously, Sonic fans are mental.
Sonic's shit, man.
Dude, you're going to get hate mail.
Whatever.
They're going to find out. They're going to dox you.
Yeah, this is where I live.
Sonic fans will dox you for saying you hate Sonic.
You want to dox me? You got to dox, mate. DDoS SoundCloud, DDoS fucking iTunes. Good fucking luck. No, I mean, look, I have issues with Sonic, and only because it's a hyped game. That just didn't feel like there was not a lot there. Like, it was just. But to be fair, there's not a lot to Mario really either. But I mean, I don't know. I was always a.
Were you a Nintendo kid when you grew up?
Yeah,
see, I was a Sega kid when I was. Well, actually, like originally, I had Mega.
Sega's
when I was a kid.
Mate. When I was a kid, Segas were for the other people.
The other people.
The others.
Mate, when I was a kid, we had Amigas. We had Amiga 500s. We played Zool. Like I was with a screen and keyboard and a mouse before I ever had a console pad.
I remember the first game I ever played on a console was Duck Hunt.
Really?
I was like, this is fucking amazing. Why can't I shoot the dog? I was like, oh, kill that fucking dog. Like, oh, that sucks. Just ducks, huh? Fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, I remember that
was your first game you played?
console. And then the second one I ever played was Mario.
Uh-huh.
And then it kind of like life goes into a bit of a blur at that stage because you're still really young. And then I remember playing Street Fighter 2.
Wow. I think the first game I remember playing at home was Putty. If anyone doesn't remember Putty, they actually released the game, a reworked version of the game for the PS4. I think 2015 or late 2014. They actually re-released the game for PS4, and it was only at that point where I think a lot of Let's Players picked it up and went through it and were like, what the fuck were kids doing back in the 80s and 90s? What is this shit? It was highly addictive. You play as a little blue piece of putty, and you have to move around this platform. And there is just random shit, like there's cheeseburgers with eyes and
this
crap.
Sounds familiar. This sounds familiar. It's like
it was a big game.
Thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It was a big game for its time. But yeah, I think that's probably the first game I remember playing. It might not have been the first one I played at home, but it's the first game I remember playing at home because it was just bright and colourful.
I mean, if most people, I know a lot of people's first game was Tetris.
Yeah, actually,
and it's like it's just blocks coming together. If communism has taught us anything, it's grey-coloured blocks coming together to disappear. That's geometrically. That's like geometric games. That's what communism taught us in Russia. Because it's a Russian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I don't know. Maybe we'll see what this like because this is the second time round now for headsets. I mean, the first time round properly was the Game Gear. No, what's it called?
Don't talk about the Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy, that was it. Yeah,
but that was in red. Like everything was in red. I think we've moved on. We're cool.
Yeah, that's the first time where they required you to put something on your head, and it would fuck with people and like give them
totally. And I
shit.
think that's the big thing is like we've already seen with people trying to introduce like wearable tech how it's not going right. Like Google Glass, there's a perfect example of like wearable tech where people just look like idiots. And people don't want to look like dickheads. Like, let's be honest. Like, I know you're playing in the privacy of your own home, but you still don't want to have that all of a sudden that subconscious moment where you're like, what do I look like?
This comes back to what I was saying. Like, do I have to wear this fucking headset when I get in?
But when it becomes more of a norm, which I mean now it is. That's the weird thing. It's like before when you saw people with Google Glass, you were just like twat. Like when you saw people, it looked like they had a nervous tick when they were using it on the tube or something. And then
have you actually seen somebody wear those? I've never seen a human being wear that out in the wild.
Really? Oh yeah, but I work like over in East London, which is like where hipsters breed.
Yeah, you're out on the border, right northeast. Yeah,
I'm over in EC1 and like Hoxton and Shoreditchy way. So I've seen people wearing penny farthing, like driving like riding penny farthings up and down streets. So that's not really out of the ordinary for me, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I never seen anybody wear like one of like anything like that, and if I did, I'd immediately be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, just take that off.
Yeah,
take that off.
I'm hoping this will be different.
World star, bitch. Do that.
Hoping this will be different because you're doing it at home, you're wearing it in the privacy of your home, so that's automatically like you're not having to go out in public with it. And secondly, because it's becoming a more acceptable thing, and not just acceptable, but something that people want to obtain. It's something that's actually no longer this little niche thing like Google Glass was. Only a few people got to try it and launch it, and like when Oculus Rift and the Vive, now all of a sudden it's something that over 40 million people have all the equipment they need pretty much at home to be able to go out and buy this and experience it. So I'd like to think that yes, maybe you're going to get a better quality VR experience from having like these PC ones. Obviously that would be expected because they've got the power output and the graphical output to do that. But
Are you see, this is one thing I've always respected about you, because like I'm looking at your entire games collection console wise right now, and obviously we've got Wii, we've got PlayStation 3, PS2, PS1, fucking Sega's, N64.
GameCube's missing and the PS4's in the house, but
yeah, but I know who has your GameCube.
Yeah, you better get that back.
Fucking guy. If he's listening, give it back. I know who that guy is. But you can still play your GameCube games on your Wii.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But you're not Mrs. fucking PC Master Race, which I hate people that fucking Steam. It's like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah,
like sometimes I just want to I want to sit in my living room, and I know you can do it. Like you can set it all up and shit.
Yeah.
If you want to play in your living room like that, like it's just like the console is made to play the game. I don't have to fuck around with the settings. I don't have to start changing this graphical, upgrade my hardware. Like I'm just simple. I'm a simple guy. Put the fucking console in. Like I have a setup much like yours. You've seen pictures and stuff where it's like I've got all my consoles hooked up to my TV and I can play whatever I want. And all the way I got Retron 5 and a few other bits like that, and my PS4 and GameCube, Xbox 360, and what else I got on there.
But no, like,
but yeah, I mean, like, I just want to fucking play the game.
I
like,
will
that's
laugh.
all I want to do.
I'll laugh and joke about like the whole PC master race and things because like I work in a tech company. I'm surrounded by people who like play PC games and like that's cool. And we'll laugh and joke about it. But really, ultimately, who gives a shit? You're still a gamer. You still play games. And at the end of the day, I sit in front of 2 computer screens all day, every day for 40 hours plus a week. When I come home, I don't want to sit in front of a computer because in my head, everything that I associate with keyboard, mouse, the sound of the fan, everything is work.
Yeah.
That's what literally it triggers me. It really does. It makes me think work and it puts me in a work frame of mind. And when I come home and I crash on the sofa, I don't want that. I like the idea of just being able to like whack on a console, put in a disc and play a game. And again, I like having physical copies. Don't get me wrong, Steam is fucking amazing. Like the amount of random shit I found on Steam, some awesome little games, and you can pick stuff up for pennies, absolutely pennies, and having a wonderful experience for next to nothing, and it's incredible. But at the same time, I really love having physical copies. Like I've really got into limited run. The guys who will basically do a limited run of games where there'll be like only like normally games that have been out, and there's digital copies and they're available, but they will then do a limited run of physical release copy.
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah,
and there'll be like maybe like 3,500 ever made, and that'll be it. And I've really got into that. And there's games that I've never even heard of and never played, but I want to be able to say I have a physical copy of it. So if I am playing it digitally, at least I still have that physical copy.
Yeah. Plus, you can just fucking put it in whenever you want. Exactly.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really got into the PC gaming thing, and maybe it's just because I feel the same way as you. Like, I like to lounge around on my fucking couch, and it just makes life so much easier. Like for me, my PlayStation is not just a games console. My PlayStation is my media center. Yeah. Like I use, and for years I never thought like I was always like, nah, you know, you're always gonna have like a set top box as well as your fucking console. It's always gonna be two separate things. And now it's like I don't even watch TV.
No.
Like everything I watch is YouTube.
Yep.
Fucking.
If it's not on YouTube or Twitch now, I probably have no idea it's happened in the world.
Netflix.
Like, Netflix or Amazon. I probably have no idea it's real. It's probably not real because it doesn't exist to me.
Yeah, and it's like I just don't. I have no interest in watching any. I don't like being advertised to, and that really frustrates me. So my girlfriend watches a lot of TV. And it's like, oh man, when something's on and I sort of walk into the room and
like, God damn it.
And then people are like, oh, did you see this advert for this thing? Like, no, I didn't see it. You know why? Because fuck that.
What gets me is not adverts, but the fact with TV, adverts aren't tailored to you. They don't know what you like. Yeah. They don't know what you watch. They don't know who you are. You just get the same bullshit as every other person. I was just going to
say that. I was like, the problem with that shit on YouTube is it's like, they know what you're interested in, so they're gonna fucking like target. But that's that shit.
I will find like I've seen like adverts that have come on YouTube. Like I haven't got YouTube Red yet.
It's not out in the UK, is it?
Yeah, you can have YouTube Red. I think we can have it. Can we not?
I don't think so.
Really?
I think you can get it in America, but you can't get it here.
Fuck that shit. YouTube, sort that shit out. But yeah, I mean, that to me, I don't mind so much because they're a bit more targeted, and also. I like to watch a lot of smaller YouTubers and things like that, so I don't mind the adverts. I know they don't make that much money from AdSense, and you're better off supporting them by throwing some money at them through Patreon, but I don't mind it so much. But some of them, like YouTube, really needs to get better at it though, because just because I'm a woman does not mean I need to be advertised pregnancy tests every fucking video.
They also, what pisses me off is that sometimes they throw you a loop and they throw an advert in the beginning, and then like, you know, you look on the bar and you can see another yellow line in the middle, and you're like,
that's a recent
there's one
thing.
in the middle.
So, like,
that's fucking annoying.
But that's not down to YouTube though. That's the video creators. Video creators can decide whether they want to have another.
Don't fucking do that, people.
Another
that's so frustrating. And it throws you out the fucking loop,
and I've noticed it more and more with like the YouTubers that I'm watching. That's happening more and more. And some of them have said, "I'm never gonna do that. I'm not in this for the revenue." And you're like, you've just put 3 fucking adverts in the middle of your 20-minute video. And I think it's like, if you haven't, I think you're not allowed to see an advert on YouTube anything closer apart than 7 minutes, so they can put them up to 7 minutes. And also like the algorithm in YouTube is also looking at your tolerance as well, like the individual tolerance that you have with adverts. So if you have a really low tolerance, you're constantly like, no, skip, then apparently they'll leave longer gaps. And if somebody is sort of like, hey, I'm going to watch all of this because I find this quite interesting, then they get them more regularly. But you'll never get them any closer than 7 minutes, I think, is the current setup for it. But
see, I'm fucked because I've got autoplay set up, which is a new feature that came out recently on a new update, which I was like, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
And I watch. Sometimes I put something on and I leave it to I fall asleep to it.
Yeah.
So if I'm watching something on my phone, I just rest it next to the bed, and then I inevitably fall
Doze
asleep.
off, yeah.
And then I wake up and obviously my phone's still been playing all night because I've got it charged. So it's been playing off my Wi-Fi all night. And then so YouTube thinks I like adverts because I'm not skipping them.
Oh, yeah.
It's because I'm asleep. so they throw these long fucking ads. I'm like, okay, I see what you did there. And the weird thing is that autoplay eventually, okay, let's say for example, I go to sleep at 10 o'clock in the evening, which for anybody, I'm a father. Yeah. I'm an early riser, so I usually go to bed quite early. If I go to bed early and I go to sleep and I've put a video on and my girlfriend can ignore it, then eventually that user's videos are going to run out, and then it's going to autoplay some other shit.
Randomness.
and then but sometimes it's fun because then I wake up in the morning
it's Russian roulette with YouTube.
Yeah, and I look up in my what's new. And it's some new shit I've never seen before. And I was like, that's because I watched a bunch of shit while I was asleep that I didn't know about. So yeah, but dude, I've gone down rabbit holes on YouTube, man.
It's easily done.
A few years ago, I went down this weird, so you know Skrillex, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So he has a song called Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites.
Yep. Oh.
So there's a bit where the chick's like,
oh my God.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. And I was like, okay, I want to know where that comes from. So I was
internet, I love you.
Yeah. So I went on YouTube and I just typed in, yes, oh my God. And the first video that came up was this little Asian girl,
the cups,
stacking cups,
cup stacking.
And
amazing.
then I went down this rabbit hole of, I was like, so this is a thing, and then
let's learn more about this thing.
And I was like, I'm gonna keep watching, and then I learned about stacking cups. I'm like, okay, so there's 2-3-2 combinations and 7-3. I was like, okay, I get it now. I understand what it's a thing. It's you're into it. It could be heroin, but it's not. It's stacking cups, whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm sure your parents are equally as proud.
Yeah, exactly. So she's doing this thing, and I was like, right, and then that's what happens. You end up going down this weird fucking rabbit hole where you're just like, I have no interest in this subject. Why am I still watching these videos? But that's the beauty of things like YouTube, I think, is all that. But the other thing is that they've obviously, I don't know if I told you about it, or maybe we had a discussion about them changing the way they monetize videos now.
With regards to
swearing,
that's
the
nano state of YouTube.
Shit. Yeah, it's fucking shit. I don't want to monetize this video. Fuck them.
The thing is, I understand, because at the end of the day, advertisers are wanting to put their name with a certain type of brand.
Exactly.
And you're when you're on YouTube, you're in any kind of you're putting yourself out there on YouTube or Twitch, you become a brand. And these advertisers are looking to work with a brand. Now, some advertisers that would work really well with, if they're a product that is for over 18s, and over 18 content is obviously not going to be an issue. But the problem is, at the moment, the algorithm that they have in YouTube is fucking diabolical. They're using a broadsword rather than a scalpel at the moment, and it's because it's new. And a large amount of video creators who have had their videos demonetized, there is a process to go back and say, I don't think this could be demonetized. And the funny thing is, that is not an automated process. That actually goes to an individual who is then expected to watch your video and go, no, you're right, it shouldn't have been. So I'm not being funny. If you're already employing people to come around and tell you your algorithm is broken, why not just get them to watch the fucking video in the first place and say, no, this is fine?
Yeah, they just.
That is really weird. They're already employing people to do that.
There's too much to watch it's
to madness.
Do yeah, but I think remove the algorithm and go back to the way it was, where everyone's fucking happy, man. I don't want to monetize the video of some dude getting his ass kicked, of some guy that filmed it on some grainy video, but for sure, if you've built a channel, you've got an audience. These people, they accept the fact, this is adult rated content. We are going to swear. We are going to do this. We are going to do that. And this is the kind of deal. You've subscribed. You know the deal. It's a written rule. It's like an unwritten contract. I'm subscribing because I know what your shit's about.
But it's not the viewers that are the problem. It's not the content creators the problem. It's not even the advertisers that are the problem. It's YouTube. YouTube's broken. The YouTube party's over. Everyone's saying it. The YouTube party's over.
Someone just needs to. What someone needs to do is they need to find a way to basically go back to old school YouTube where people can make money, create their own fucking streaming service like that, and then let people make money that way.
But the problem is, though, it's the Wild West. This is the thing, and that's why we're seeing the introduction of fucking YouTube heroes, which Oh my god,
What's
it makes
YouTube
me so
Heroes?
angry. So YouTube Heroes is basically like something that's been brought in by YouTube, and I think it's marvelous and hilarious how badly this has backfired. But what they're doing is they're allowing people to come in, and you can earn points. So you can earn points by, for instance, really good things, transcribing someone's video. So somebody does a video, obviously, you know, there are people who are audio impaired. You can transcribe that video, and so they have the subtitles, which is great.
Captions,
You'll get points for that, which is awesome. You'll also get points for flagging videos. So for you, flagging a video is like not meeting their content, like kind of description, like not meeting YouTube's terms of service.
Basically.
Yeah, if you don't think it reaches their terms of service, you can flag that video. You get points for flagging videos.
Snitches get stitches, people.
The more points you get, there's different tiers. So you can go off like with tier 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 5. So when you get to, I think it's tier 3, or I think it's tier 3, you can mass flag videos. So you can just go literally onto somebody's fucking page and just go boom, 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 boom.
You know what this sounds like? Pyramid scheme.
This
That's
is
exactly
terrible.
what this sounds like.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't want to do it. We're going to make you do
Yeah.
it, and we're going to give you points.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the top points, you get more stuff.
But the weird thing is,
get
as
more
well,
people to
is
do it.
they're giving them stuff that YouTube creators should have. So all of they're saying, like, when there's new tools available and new things and new features that can be coming onto YouTube heroes will get them first. Creators don't get that. This is the weird thing. The creators who are actually creating the content that allows YouTube to actually exist and monetize itself and be a thing and a company, they're not going to get that. So that's kind of frustrating. And also, they're now saying about they're going to have direct access to a human being at YouTube. When you reach level 5, you have like the equivalent of like an account manager almost.
This
that you
sounds
can
like
contact.
fucking Scientology.
Yeah, you can contact them directly. And like
You
no
can
YouTube
contact
creator
the
can have
aliens
human
directly.
contact. Yeah, like YouTube creators don't have human contact with YouTube. This is amazing. And like apparently if you flag enough and snitch enough videos, guys, you can be able to talk to the real life YouTube people, which in itself is almost worth doing it just for that, because I don't think they're real.
No. If you do, this is my view, my personal view.
Yeah.
If you go around flagging videos for points, you
Yeah.
can go eat a dick. I think you're a fucking asshole. You don't need to do that shit. That's my view.
I mean,
you don't fucking. You're a content creator. If I'm a content creator, I'm a content creator. Someone
Yeah.
flags this video that goes on YouTube, because it will. If somebody flags this video,
Yeah.
I'm gonna think you're a dick, because it's like, what have we spoken about today?
Games,
Games,
YouTube.
bullshit, and
Yeah.
some YouTube and some other shit.
The
And we
best-
just had a fucking conversation, right?
The best thing
that's
about
it.
YouTube Heroes is the video that they put out on YouTube by
Stop
YouTube.
saying best thing. It's not the
No,
best thing.
no, this is awesome. They put out a video like saying, "Hey guys, look, this is YouTube Heroes. Isn't it marvelous?" They got so much negative feedback, they had to disable the own comments on their own video.
Good,
Well played, YouTube. Well played.
good. I'm not allowed to comment on certain videos.
I can see why they thought it would be a good idea. I can see why they want to do it, because it is the Wild West. Comment sections on YouTube is basically like, that's where you go to see the lowest common denominator of humanity, is the YouTube comments generally. Or not on all channels, and not everyone who comments on YouTube is a terrible person. There are some fantastic communities out there and some great people that you can meet and talk to and get great feedback from. But then there is the other side of it, which is not. And YouTube comments are synonymous with just being absolutely like troll pits.
Some of them are fucking hilarious. Though.
They're great to read. Like, don't get me wrong, I kind of get lost in the comments sometimes. They're hilarious, but at the same time, like,
That's another
it's
rabbit
awful.
hole you'll end up
Yeah, never scroll down to the comments. It's just
It's like
don't do that to yourself.
reading Amazon reviews. Those are my favourite. I got introduced to that recently by my girlfriend. She was like,
sex
reading-
toy reviews on Amazon are the fucking hilarious thing.
She's like the Amazon reviews for the girl versions of pens, like the girl version of biro pens, and it's like ballpoint
gosh.
pens. And she was like, read these, and they are fucking
Brilliant.
amazing.
There are some very creative people
And that's
out there.
why you're just
I
like,
love it.
wow, this is what, like, so sometimes I sort of sit back and I go, this is why I love the internet.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
You
it
see
gave
the
everybody
best
a
of
voice.
humanity.
Like, what is it? I think Jane Silent Bob Strike Back. So when they go to see Holden McNeil, which is played by Ben Affleck, and he's like, the internet's given everybody a voice, and it seems like everybody wants to share pornography with each other and bitch about movies.
That's pretty much
That's
it.
pretty much it. It's like, that's
Get us
what
down
it
to
should
it.
be. I think mostly, like, don't get me wrong, everyone loves porn, but like, we want to bitch about movies, we want to talk about shit, and sometimes when I see a really funny video, I'm like, why is it nobody listening to this guy? Like, this is the guy. We need to come to, and it's not just, I mean, like, look at, okay, so we've got the Power Rangers reboot, right?
Yep.
Okay, which I don't completely hate from the trailer. But the reason that came about, have you seen the trailer?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay,
no.
it's not that bad. It's like someone made Chronicles, because that's what there's a film called Chronicle, which is basically the anime version of Akira. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I feel is like the live action version of that movie. You know, obviously with some liberties taken, and then they've just made the Power Rangers movie, which is basically Chronicle. These kids find some like fucking coins in some rocks, and they start getting powers, and then they goes out of control, and they become fucking, I guess they become Power Rangers, obviously, but
as you do,
as one does, yeah. And then Bryan Cranston turns up as a floating head, and
I'm already all over this film just because you said that.
So I think this is what I think. I think that way back, because you know Bryan Cranston was in Power Rangers. He voiced some Power Rangers characters in the original American release. I had no
idea about that. Yeah, that's impressive.
So I think because obviously he's a major superstar now, so I reckon at some point in his career, early back then, he signed a contract where they were like, if we ever make a fucking movie,
you have to be a part of it.
You have to be a part of it. And he was like, yeah, well, they'll never make a movie of this stupid shit. and now they've made 4.
And he's breaking it right now. And he's already on the phone to his agent, like, get me out of this fucking contract.
And the new one, they're kind of like, hold on a minute, hold on, guys. We can bring Bryan Cranston into this. Someone's going, are you fucking serious?
Get the lawyers on the phone. Get that contract.
Get that contract. Pull it out the file. And they just pull out this fucking dusty file, blow it off. That's it. And they're like, okay, yep, he signed it. It's forever. So he can do it. We're going to tie this motherfucker in litigation for the rest of his life. He tries to get out of this. And he's like, they're like, he's just finished fucking Breaking Bad, and he's doing movies, and he's like, life is so good, and he thought he got past that dark shadow. And then
no one remembers the Power Rangers, right?
And then it's just like fucking Godfather 3, when he's like, every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. That's what they've done to him. He's like, oh man, what the fuck are you gonna make me do now? They're like, you're playing Zordon. And he's like, who the fuck is Zordon? It's like, basically, you're a floating head in a jar, and you get to talk to a bunch of teenagers and tell them to do shit. And he's like, well, fuck it. Okay, sure.
Paycheck.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, how much you paying me? Yep, okay.
I'm in.
It's like that film that Ben Affleck did, Paycheck, which is like the title of that movie is very appropriate. That's all it was to him.
It's just a paycheck.
It's just a paycheck. So who knows? Like, I don't know. It might suck, but basically,
that would be amazing if that was true. They actually did have a contract to do something.
I genuinely believe that's how it went down. Like, I think somewhere in the clause of that original contract, there is a clause that says, if we ever want you to make a movie, you have to do it. And he's like, and he was probably
this will never be a thing.
Yeah, he was like a struggling actor, because that's the same way that Patrick Stewart plays Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek. He signed up for 6 seasons.
Yeah. When
he first came over, his agent called him, he was like, you're going to come out to LA, da da da. And he was like, basically, they want you to sign up for 6 seasons. And he was like, yeah. And his agent was like, this will never become a thing. And he was like,
oh, how little you knew.
He was like, yeah, this won't become a thing. This won't even last the first season. He's like, yeah, well, last the first season. Fuck it. Signed a 6-season contract deal.
Man.
Like, fucking still Jean-Luc Picard, right? Now he's fucking Professor X.
Awesome.
So, like, but it made him a gazillionaire. So who gives a shit?
You're going to argue with that logic,
So he's like, number one, I'm rich. Like... but my point is that like the Power Rangers reboot, the gritty reboot that we're getting at the moment, came from a fan-made movie, which was a film that somebody made with fucking the Dawson, James Van Der Beek.
Jesus Christ!
And he is in that, and they made like a very short. Yeah, they made like a really short film. It's about 20 minutes long. Where it's a lot darker, it's a lot grittier, and it's like after the Power Rangers were Power Rangers, what they got up to afterwards.
Okay.
And
after they were famous, basically.
No. As in the Power Rangers world.
Okay.
So like what they went on to do after they were Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like what the Green Ranger does now and what the Black Ranger does. He was like an assassin, he got killed by the Blue Ranger or some shit like that. I don't know. But like it's got some credible actors in there. It's got James Van Der Beek as fucking Dawson from Dawson's Creek fame, and some chick from I want to say Battlestar. I think she's from. She's from Battlestar Galactica, like the new series. She played Bucky or Buckstar, something like that. But Starbuck. She played Starbuck in the new reboot of Battlestar Galactica. and she's in that too. And I was like, okay, so they got some credible people. I recognize these people off there. And they made like a little gritty little trailer kind of mini video, and from there people were like, do this,
yeah, make this happen,
fucking do this is good. And this is kind of how it came about. Lionsgate came in, they threw some money at the project.
Thank you, internet.
Yeah, and
this sort of shit would never happen otherwise.
This is what we're saying, like you know, and that's how small, like even things like I will say YouTube is fantastic because it helped, unfortunately, help people like Justin Bieber get into the world.
Let's not hate on the Biebs, man. He's had enough.
But he is talented, right?
Yeah.
He's a talented kid. Like, I don't like him personally.
No, it's not my vibe, but you know,
but he's talented.
Well, he stands for throwing eggs at his neighbours. From what I understand, but trying to attack people. But cool, yeah.
You know, but that's what he stands for. Fair dues. But I mean, like, his talent, he got found out through YouTube. Yeah. A lot of people are making like fucking PewDiePie is a fucking billionaire from fucking YouTube.
And we have the YouTube simulator now. PewDiePie's app. I don't know whether you've played that yet. Decidedly addicting. I can't help myself.
What is it? Sorry.
He's brought about. There's actually now a PewDiePie app. There is a YouTube simulator, but we're not allowed to call it YouTube because it's not YouTube. It's a tuber simulator sort of
right.
thing.
What do you mean by that? Sorry, I don't understand.
I don't know whether you. So there's been like lots of like sim games around YouTubing that have become a thing recently, and this is like a little app where you start off in a room with a cardboard box and your computer on top of it, and you have to make videos. And by make videos, you basically like select a video title, it creates a video for you, you get views from that. You spend the views to buy more shit for your room, and you have to obtain subscribers. So it's basically like decorating your room. Like once you get past the initial kind of like first little bit of it, it's basically like a room decorating. But it is the most ridiculously fun and addictive thing I think I've played on the app for a while.
Do you know what people said was really surprising?
10 million downloads on that.
Do you know
it's
what
amazing.
People said was surprisingly addicting?
Go on.
The Kim Kardashian game.
I couldn't bring myself to do that.
Yeah, because you're an actual human being. But apparently when that game got released, she made bucks.
Yeah,
she made bucks. She's like probably one of the richest people on the planet.
She's probably one of the most astute businesswomen because she knows what she's doing. I really do think that I mean, not being funny, if you get famous for making a sex video and now all of a sudden you're like the go-to person that everyone talks about when they talk about famous people, you've done something right.
So I'm probably going to butcher this, but I'm quoting a stand-up bit from Joe Rogan's stand-up. And he basically says, like, if aliens came down to our planet, they would kill us. Because they'd be like...
Yeah, they've only got to take one look at social media.
They'd point at Kim Kardashian and go, really? Her? Like, because she's legitimately the most famous person on the planet. Because she's like the most famous woman on the planet. Like, anybody who disagrees is wrong. Because... Maybe
the Queen.
No.
You don't reckon people would reckon... I
reckon more people would know who Kim Kardashian is.
I wouldn't recognise Kim Kardashian in the street. I wouldn't recognise a single Kardashian in the street.
Which Kim Kardashian? Because there have been many forms.
She looks
very different now than what she did before.
Talking about Kim Kardashian and looks particularly, have you seen, like, in terribly bad and crass taste, they've made a Kim Kardashian Halloween costume to do with her robbery in Paris?
The fake robbery that she had.
Yeah, well, the jury's out. The alleged robbery that took place in Paris. They've made a Kim Kardashian Halloween costume, and it basically is a white bathrobe, sunglasses, and a long black wig. Now, it's whether you think it's in bad taste to have that.
That's dark.
Yeah, whether you think it's in bad taste, in a big ring. Whether you think it's in bad taste or not to have that as like a Halloween costume or not is neither here nor there. But imagine the fact that they're sitting there and going, my entire entity of who I am has boiled down to sunglasses, a black wig, and a big ring. No, that's all you are to people. That's enough to be recognised.
But the problem is that, like, Kim Kardashian and her whole Kardashian Armenian black people of white people crew that she is just, they're just like, I don't know, man. It's just so weird. Basically, one guy's fucking huge dick made this whole family famous. It's true. Because, like, if you went to, like, okay, let's say you go to a fucking, like, a business school. And you're like, okay, I have a plan. I want to make 50 times more than the president of the United States of America. Okay.
It's a good goal to have,
and they'd be like, because that's what she makes.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's only like £400,000, $400,000 a year, right? So that, which is what,
plus expenses.
300. No, that's inclusive, I think. Maybe, I don't know.
I doubt it. I doubt it a lot.
I don't know what
Air Force One costs a shit ton to run, man.
I don't know what Obama's expenses are. Sorry, but basically, I want to make 50 times more than the president of the United States.
Cool.
here's my plan. I'm gonna find a black guy. I'm gonna sit on his dick and I'm gonna film it. They'd be like, get the fuck out of it. But it worked because she won. It worked, right? She fucked a fucking dude with a huge dick, and now she's the most famous woman.
Yeah,
like that's the fucking.
But she's
scary
a great
thing
businesswoman. Like the app is a perfect example of that. Like, you know, she knows how to market herself, and the fact that she does a load of stuff that people hate, we don't like her. We're fucking talking about her right now. Exactly. She's got what she wants.
She's living rent free in my head.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, so Joe Rogan goes on to say this. He says, he goes, so if aliens came down, they'd point at her and go, really, her? And then we'd be like, yeah. And they go, like, okay. Because
eradicate this bullshit.
You'd have to explain it to her then, right? You'd be like, okay. So they'd be like, why? And I'm like, okay, well, you'd have to explain Robert Kardashian, and you'd have to play O.J. Simpson. Yeah. And you'd have to explain football. So you go, okay. Right. So there was this guy, and he's called O.J. Simpson, like O.J. Simpson. And you go, okay. And you go, okay. O.J. Simpson was like a really good American football player. And what football is, for the people who don't know, American football is that, like, we have to move this ball from one side of the field and cross that line. And when we do, we go, yes, we love it. And when they do, and when the other team do it, boo, we hate it because they're the bad guys. More people do that than vote for president of the United States. More people watch it. It's the number one thing. That's what we do. And OJ was very good at this game. And then OJ married this, he started fucking around and he married this woman. And then he married this woman and he had a really good time. And eventually they broke up and they had a divorce. And what divorce means is that when you split up with a girl, you have to give her money.
The aliens have already killed us at this point.
So when you break up with your wife, you have to keep giving her money and she can go fuck other guys. Yeah, I know. OJ wasn't buying it either. And then, so he took a knife and he put it inside his wife until she stopped moving.
He has been acquitted though, so like from a legal standpoint.
And then he hired a legal team of assassins to like cast their wizardry in their words, and then they got him out and he was acquitted on all charges.
Due back in offence.
Yeah, and it's like, the glove does not fit, you must acquit. Like, and they let him go. And then Robert Kardashian was the leader of this team.
The Wizards.
And I was like, I don't know if karma is a motherfucker, but like Kardashian like died from like cancer, and Johnny Carson or whatever his fucking name is died from like cancer a few years after that. And then what happens was he left behind a daughter, and when a daughter doesn't have a father around, she tends to find like these figures,
strip clubs,
from other guys. And so what she did is she fucked a black guy with a big huge dick, and she filmed it, and now this is where we are. And they'd be like, we're gonna kill you all. Yeah. We're going to destroy this entire planet and everybody on it. But that's the truth. That's basically
when you take it down to brass tacks, that's like, what happened.
I'm not going to go into the intricacies of it, but that's it. That's basically the Kardashian story all there. And now, like, you look from that point onwards, it's like, now they've had all this plastic surgery and they all look fucking different, and they all, like, Kylie, Khloe, Kim, there's another one floating around somewhere, the mother, the fucking dad who was like one of them, an Olympian of the year, you know, he was an Olympic medalist and all this shit. Now he's like a sex change, and he sounds the same but looks completely different. It's like, the fuck is going on with this family? Like,
it makes you wonder, like, how much of this is just to keep the views up?
Like, and the scary thing is, it's like,
we're just fucking lapping it up.
Yeah,
man.
We're just encapsulated by these people. Like, their TV show, oh my god, I used to get home, like, and when I used to live with my sisters, and I used to get home and see them watching. I was like, what the fuck are you watching right now? It's just them being like, oh my god, you can't do this because the cleaner's not coming around. And then there's some hijinks that go on with it. Oh, the cleaner came around in the end. That's it. It's the end of the fuck you, man. Fuck you. What's his
There's millions of people watching that, but like, we'll get shit for playing video games for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, why are you wasting your time with that shit? Go outside. It's like, have you seen outside?
Yeah.
Have you seen that fucking walking around out there? The Kardashians.
It's like, I'm trying to save the fucking world right now.
Yeah,
Can you
don't
just
mind.
fuck off for 5 minutes, please? Stop making me
the real
fucking
world
do this
looks
shit.
really shit from what I've seen in reality TV. I'm going to stay in and play games.
But it does though. Fuck going out there. No way. I have to do that shit every day for work.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about my work, but I have to do it every out day for work, and my bullshit, like, in my way, what I do, but you do as well. It's like, you got to do that rat run every day into central London and fucking deal with all that shit. Do you take personal games with you? Do you take like a handheld and fucking rock about?
I have a Game Boy Micro. And I take with me.
Right, so this brings me on to kind of like, I picked up a Revo K9101.
The fuck?
K101. Sorry. Revo K101. You will love this. You
Okay.
need to get one. I got given one as a gift, and it's the bollocks. Basically, it is like, okay, so you know how like the micro has like a little LCD screen and all
Yeah.
that? Okay, so do you know anything about the clamshell design for the SP?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So the SP, the Game Boy SP, which is what preceded the preceded. There I go, coming out my lane again. Don't know what that word means. I precede, after, or before. The one before it.
Yeah.
Before the micro was the clamshell design for the SP, right? Play Game Boy Advance games. Okay, so that came in two forms, right? There was the early releases came with an LCD screen that was lit.
Yes.
It was a backlit screen, and there was another one that was lit. It wasn't backlit, sorry. It was originally lit, and the other one was a backlit
screen, yeah.
LCD screen, right? LED screen. The LED ones are a lot more expensive because they're a lot rarer. They were the second generation of that SP before they brought out the micro, which has that exact same screen, but in a smaller format. Now, there is a company called Retro Empire,
Okay.
right? And they have what's called a Revo, and a Revo is about just a little bit bigger. I think it's about the size of my iPhone. So I got a 6S Plus. So it's about the same size as my 6S Plus, a little bit slimmer. It's got a memory card of 8 gigabytes. Comes with it. All right. Okay. And you can basically ROM all. I'm going to give a disclaimer here. Obviously, own the games. So if you're going to ROM the fucking game, own it. Make sure you do. But if you don't, I'm not responsible for the way you do it. Just saying.
Disclaimer.
But yeah, basically, you can download the ROMs, drop them straight into the file on the memory card, and it will play all the games in crisp LCD screen.
Ooh.
And I was gonna bring it with me, but I thought it's not charged. But it's the bollocks. It's really good, and it's got save states and everything on there, and
Oh man,
it's
that's
really
actually
good.
awesome.
And so I have like 1,000 games. No, I don't even think they brought 1,000 games. Maybe they did. I don't know. I have all the games for the Game Boy Advance on this little memory card,
Holy
and
crap.
but it also plays the games. Like you can pull the memory card out. Because the memory card's got it's got a cartridge with a memory card slot in it, but you can pull that cartridge out and just put a normal game in and play it.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
Ah.
you should pick one up.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
It's good sound. It's good screen. It's got the screen that you wanted off the SP. The aspect maybe slightly off, but you don't notice it.
Right.
It's very well done. It's really good. I think that's the only downside. The aspect might be slightly off. But you wouldn't even notice it unless you're really
Really looking
anally
for it,
retentive
yeah.
about it. I don't care. I don't notice it at all. So
Cool.
it's great.
That's pretty awesome.
But basically, like all the games that I can't afford to play or can't buy on the Game Boy Advance because they're so expensive.
Yeah, I mean, some of them. Let's be honest. Like,
Well, there's some games that only got released in Japan.
yeah,
And the Game Boy is, I think it technically is region free, the Game Boy Advanced. But obviously if the game's in Japanese, it's in Japanese. You ain't gonna
Well,
play
you can
it.
do about
So, but yeah, I went on a recommended ROM website, and the games that I own, I downloaded, and because I own the physical copy of it, and put them all on this thing. And now, when I went away to a wedding recently, in Alicante in Spain, I just
took
bought
that?
that.
Yeah.
Just took that instead of bringing my
awesome.
Game Boy, my entire collection.
Yeah, that's
I
brilliant.
just bought this one thing and a charger, and it's a micro USB charger. It's perfect.
That is actually really cool.
Look
Yeah,
into
that's
it.
perfect.
I think it's Retro Empire.
Okay.
I've spoken about them on a different podcast before, but they're really good. They were legit, and they got that out. And I've seen it. You know, I tagged you into it. I think this handheld thing that plays, it's like the Android tablet with the fucking, I can't remember what it's called, but it plays like fucking PlayStation games and 64 games and shit like that. Like that's the way I think this game industry is going now. Like they're bringing out these retro style consoles that can play these like these new consoles that can play these retro style games in various formats using the Android operating system.
Yeah.
You can plug it into your TV. Same with this little thing. You can plug it straight into your TV and play it in HD. It's really good.
That's really cool, actually.
I for sure recommend anybody check those out.
I mean, when you think about it, like it's nostalgia, isn't it? It's like the the age group now that have, like, theoretically, let's be honest, it's all theoretical, theoretically have disposable income are kids who were born sort of like late 70s, 80s, that sort of time. So obviously anything that's kind of was around when those babies being born were kids and able to have memories, that's why we're now seeing all of that stuff coming back. It's because
also
they're the ones that have disposable income.
The way people are making money is completely different as well, though. Like,
well, yeah, but I mean,
you know, we were talking about time earlier, like how much time you have to play a game, in comparison to like your age. So like the younger you are, you have all the time in the world but no money.
Yeah,
but that's not necessarily true anymore, because younger kids are now monetizing their YouTube life, their fucking
I mean, now like
life,
you can
Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's now like there's what's it called? It's like if you've got like 5,000 subscribers, whether it be on like Twitter or on YouTube or on Instagram, straight away you can start monetizing that with sponsorship deals, like from 5,000, which, you know, is still a lot, but like really when you look at kind of the vastness of it, it's not that much.
Nothing.
Yeah, and you can start making money from that, which is like fascinating, really. But I mean, I don't know whether kids should be doing that.
Well, I mean, look, okay, so the Liam Harrington, who he went to my school, this gentleman called Liam Harrington, and he's the CEO of Unilad.
Okay, really?
Yeah, he's one of the co-founders. Yeah, he went to my school, Salvatorian College.
Did not know he was a local boy.
Yeah, he's local. Yeah. So he created Unilad with a friend of his, and he's now a fucking millionaire.
Oh yeah.
But all he did was create a Facebook page with videos.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all he did.
That's all you need. You just need to tap into something in people's subconscious. You just need something that clicks with people.
That's why people shout WorldStar in video fights. They're like, because WorldStar is a place where you can fucking post that shit up.
There you go.
Because it's like, hey, I want to see fights. Okay, go to WorldStar, get the app or whatever the fuck it is, and go on there and watch all that shit. Damn. And like, that's what people want to see, right? You want to see controversy, you want to see drama. Like, I couldn't get, like, obviously the other side of it, you want to be entertained. Like, I subscribe to fucking Matt Pat.
Yeah. God bless him.
Jesus Rocks.
Metal Jesus Rocks. Yeah, fantastic for retro gaming.
He's fucking dangerous though, man. Because he raises no, dude. He raises unbeknownst to him, it's not his fault. But when he does his rare gems,
yeah, but all of a sudden those games prices rocket.
When he does hidden gem videos, those games go up in price. I was bidding for a copy of Astro Boy. I got outbid every time, but like, because that game normally, I mean, it's set at a buy now at about £40, but I'd seen a few quite cheap, and he did a rare hidden gems, and that fucking shot up in price, and I was like, dude, man, stop fucking
killing me here.
Like, thank you for doing it, but fuck you, dude, because like, obviously he gets like 5 to 10,000 hits on his video. And I know there aren't that many of those copies in the wild anymore.
Yeah, so
I own one now.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I own one now, but only because someone was sleeping on it, and I got it for like £5. Yeah,
that's
dude,
good.
I was well happy.
Well cheap. Yeah.
I was really happy about that. Someone was sleeping on that shit. No one saw it, and it was like just about to end, and I was like, "Boss, no bidders, bid it, £5.
Wow,
50p more than what the fucking asking price was." And I was like, "Yep, cool, that'll do me."
Brilliant. Yeah, sit now. If you want to bargain, I mean, like, eBay now, like, it's just turning into scalpers, because it's not people know the real worth of what they're selling, and it's not just people who are like clearing out their attics anymore, like a glorified digital car boot sale. Now it's like
all car boot sales in general. You don't see that shit no more. Like, I went to a car boot sale recently, and
you don't see gain, and when you do, people know what to charge for them now.
Yeah, you think like, oh man, I'm gonna find the hidden gem. I'm gonna find fucking all of this shit, and no, nothing. Did you ever hear about the PlayStation Nintendo console that was found? It exists now.
Yeah, it went on a tour around America. I think someone was touring it around America at some of the conventions this year. Yeah. Yeah,
so I can't remember the guy's webpage on YouTube, but he actually took it apart.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'll show you. It's pretty good. No, he took it. He's like well known for it. I can't remember his name, but anybody who knows can tell me. But I'll find it after we're done with this, because we're gonna be done shortly, because it's almost fucking 2 hours.
So we can talk about games all day.
Yeah. But basically, he like, the story behind it was, this was always in like folklore, like much like the ET games in the fucking landfill.
Yeah.
That, you know, at one point, and this is true, Nintendo and Sony were going to make a console together.
Going to make a little baby together. They were going to have a little console.
And Sony
then,
was like, we're going to go disc-based.
And Nintendo had a little kind of hissy fit.
They're like, no, we're going to do cartridge.
Yeah.
And then like they parted ways. But during that process, they built a prototype. And one exists. Only one. It's so fucking rare. And one exists in the world. And the story behind it was these guys were clearing out some office. And like this guy who owned a fucking company, or he was an employee that works for a company that clears offices out, you know, whatever his job was. And he said like, look, can I have these boxes, these closed boxes here? I don't know where they are, but can I buy these boxes in here? And so they said, yeah. I mean, we're going to throw them away. So if you want it, you can buy it. And he was like, you know, how much? And they were like $80. So he broke down like the cost of all the items in there. And he was like, basically, I paid $80 for like 15 boxes. This console probably cost me about 75 cents.
That's insane.
Like, for this item, which is worth like millions of dollars.
That's insane.
Because it's so rare. And so then the guy's son was on like Reddit, and people were talking about this console. He had seen it. He was like, I don't know what this is. They put it in their attic. So
of course, as you
whatever,
do,
right?
It is.
And then like he was on Reddit, and people were talking about it. And he was like, hold on, I have one of these. And they were like, no, you don't. And he posted a picture. He was like, I do. Look, here it is. And everyone lost their fucking minds. And then it was like, oh, this thing actually fucking exists. And then that's how it came into the real world. And then they've taken it to some guy, again, I can't remember his name, but he's well known for breaking consoles apart and breaking technology apart, and he knows his shit really well about what stuff's made up of. And they brought the thing to him, like the thing, it boots up but it doesn't play the games, or the disc drive didn't work, or it didn't open. So they took it to this guy and said like, can you fix it? The son at one point had taken it apart to a certain level, knows how to break things open without snapping it, if that makes sense. But this guy, then he was like, oh, this chip does this, and he was like, because there's no official
manual guide for him to be able to know.
So he was like, I can only go off what the Sony one looks like and what the Nintendo one looks like,
and try and like mash them together,
what it all works. And then he actually ends up getting it to boot up, getting the disc drive to work, getting it to play, because it's got a Nintendo cartridge on top, Super Nintendo cartridge on top, and a disc drive at the front for PlayStation.
That's amazing.
With 2 Super Nintendo port controllers. It's so fucking strange, but he did that, like, and it's fucking amazing. And I love the fact that existed. I love the fact, and we wouldn't have that without the internet.
Yeah,
we wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that information, and I wouldn't know about the ET games in the landfill. Have you seen the film?
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah, I managed to find some time at work
as you do
to watch that. Yeah, and it was amazing. It was just seeing what that meant to so many people, because I wasn't an Atari child.
The organic
thing,
the funny and organic thing about that is those games are probably worth more now from that landfill than they were when they went in.
Well, now that they're all technically the property, aren't they, of the council there? So they're like selling them off and auctioning them off for like the council's funds and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was phenomenal to just see how much that meant to people who'd grown up with Atari as well. Because like, I mean, we've been lucky enough to grow up in a generation of where consoles are more of the norm. You know, we've had that luxury in a way, whereas people like, you know, not that much older than us were kind of picked on and called nerds and isolated for liking things like games consoles, and like going to, you know, having a games console at home was like, it was hard to market to people to start off with, because it was considered a bit weird to have your kids sitting around just like staring at screens all day.
The light box.
Yeah, it's like, it just seems like a weird concept back then, because they weren't born into an environment where games and consoles and gaming was a thing. So to them, obviously, like, it will always mean more to them than I think gaming will mean to us, because it's just, to us, it's just the norm. We've grown up with that. But the idea of living in a world when there wasn't that, and then it happening and being a part of that taking off and becoming part of a culture that didn't exist before is incredible. I mean, I suppose you could say that we've had our own experiences with regards to that, and with things like, you know, taking off, like the internet. You know, like, can you remember like when you used to have fucking dial-up?
Yeah, kids won't know what that is. My kids won't know what that is. Like my son, when he grows up, he won't know
the sound of dial-up connection.
You'll fucking laugh. I'm like,
this is the song of my people.
I had to, son, just to let you know that when I wanted to go onto the internet, I had to make sure that no one received house calls.
Yeah.
And then he'll ask me 2 questions.
What's a house phone?
What's a house phone? What does that mean, Dad?
Yeah.
And why does the internet make this noise?
Yeah.
And I'll say, okay, I can't explain that.
It just was.
That was the noise of that was the song of our people.
Yeah.
Of the people that wanted to get on rotten.com and fucking like E-Bombs World.
Yeah.
And all that. E-Bombs World's going strong
Is
again.
that still
man.
going?
Yeah, he is. There's an app. It's really good. It gets me entertained every day.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, it's fucking crazy. I think
You were part of that revolution, which is that's why, like, to us, the internet will always be amazing, because we were born into a time when if we wanted information, we went to a library, we had to go through like encyclopedia books and to do research.
Carter.
Yeah, oh my goodness, remember we had Encarta? That was brilliant. But we used to have to go through encyclopedias at the library and get this information and make notes and actually like learn stuff properly, and then write our essay for homework. Kids
And now
don't have
I
to
can
do
just
that. It's
fucking answer that
amazing.
question on
Yeah.
my phone right now.
Like I like your little lad will not understand at all what we went through. Like
No,
the
no.
struggle was fucking real. We had
I
to
mean,
go
by
to
the
a
time
library.
by the time he's going into, I mean, they're already teaching
He'll
kids
be
how
able
to
to. He'll be able
code
to,
now.
yeah.
They're teaching them in year 1.
Exactly, like simple coding. It's basically just glorified pure mathematics. So I mean, like if you can teach a kid maths, you can teach him coding. So there's no reason why people shouldn't be learning that at school from a very early
They
age.
are.
Yeah.
They're doing it now.
It's fantastic. But I feel like so jealous that we didn't have that. I mean, our IT
What did we
teacher-
have? Sesame Street.
Don't knock the hand puppets, my friend. But like our IT teacher at school was actually our PE teacher. He could tell us to turn it on. I think we're like pissing around with Excel. Nothing even complicated like with regards to functions or anything like that in Excel. It was more like how to input numbers. It was like
That's it, yeah.
and that was it. And we actually learned more from trying to find out how they'd hidden the games on the PCs.
Yeah.
We actually learnt more from just trying to figure out how they're hidden it and cracking that and being able to play games all day and then like play on our own internal network than we ever did from those IT
Well,
lessons.
that's how all this stuff works, right? It's like this is how it is, and then the ingenuity comes from necessity.
Yeah.
So you go like, okay, well, I want to
really
learn how
wanna play
to do
solitaire.
this. So let me figure out how to break this.
Yeah.
So I can do this.
Totally. That's
And
innovation in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's, who knows? But it's I mean, fuck. So where do you think? Just nutshell it for me, just because we're at fucking 2 hours now and we've got shit to do. Nutshell it for me.
Yep.
Where do you think you're going to be? What games wise? Say Christmas
This year.
Yeah.
Christmas this year, games wise. I really want an Xbox One S.
Yeah, you were saying
Yeah.
Scorpio, right?
Well, that's not going to be until next year, but I
is
don't
that
think I
next
can, I
year?
don't think I can last that long.
Okay.
So I'm thinking I might get an Xbox One.
Right.
I'm
Poor
still.
choice.
I'm still. Oh come on, cut me
Fuck
some
it.
slack.
No,
There's some good.
This
like.
is how I feel about Xbox One at the moment. I feel the same way as a beaten wife. It's like you've done this to me before.
Yeah.
How do I know you're not going to do it again?
Yeah, I
with
gotta
your
be honest.
fucking
Like,
shit?
but the last 3 months they've been head of console sales. They've been like, how much you can put that down to people hanging back because they want to buy the PS Pro, like the PlayStation Pro. It might just be people are buying PlayStation 4s at the moment simply because they're holding back for that.
Yeah, it comes out next month, right?
yeah.
November 10th.
So if we'll see what happens with the charts then, but I would like one because there is some really cool games that are only exclusively on there, and I like the fact as well that they've brought out now that if you buy a digital copy on like say Windows 10, you can transfer it and play it on your Xbox One and vice versa. With a lot of games now, that's going to be happening where if you buy a copy on your Xbox One, I'll also be able to download a digital copy for free and play it on my PC, which is great. I like being able to experience both both options for it, so that'd be quite cool. And also holding my breath, crossing every single thing I have in the hope that Nintendo don't fuck up the NX. That's pretty much where I'm going to spend Christmas, is sitting there just hoping.
There you go, guys. Yeah, well, it's been an interesting conversation.
It's been a pleasure, man. I could do this all day. It's great.
Last thing, you watch MMA?
Not a lot.
I always try to throw some MMA into these conversations.
Yeah, not so much. Normally
Conor
with you.
McGregor, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about him? He's a cunt. I think he's a cunt. I hope Eddie Alvarez knocks him the fuck out at UFC 205.
Go Alvarez. There you go.
Well, I stayed up to watch Aldo like a year ago, and I cried
Aww.
because it ended. Aldo and McGregor ended in 13 seconds, and from that point,
Wow.
I don't think I've watched another UFC event live. I was like, not doing that again.
Not staying up that time.
I'm
anymore.
not fucking up the sleeping pants for that shit.
It's
again.
been a long time since we stayed up late to watch UFC together.
I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I know, fuck that. So we're done.
I've learnt your lesson there.
All right, guys. We're gonna wrap this shit up because we are narrowly approaching the 2 hour mark, and you have better things to do now. So where can people find you?
They can find me mainly on Twitter. They'll find me my personal, like Lucky Mucky Ducky.
Lucky Mucky Ducky. Don't give out your personal Facebook.
No. But Lucky Mucky Ducky.
You get a lot of dick pics.
Bring me your dick pics. Lucky Mucky Ducky is where you'll find me on everything, basically.
Yeah. And Ghost Menagerie on.
Ghost Menagerie is on Twitter.
Spell Ghost Menagerie for the people that don't know how to spell.
Oh shit. Get a dictionary. You got the internet. How do you not know how to spell?
I'm going to give it a go. It's GHOSTMAN.
No, close, but no cigar. MEN.
MENAG GERIERIE.
Google it, you'll be out. Seriously, guys, like we don't have to learn to spell. We've got the internet, so
it will be in the fucking description. Look down in the description. That's where it'll be, and you'll find me on fucking my page, What's the Damage, on Facebook, and a few other things on Twitter and YouTube and iTunes and fucking everywhere. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lisa.
My pleasure.
For exposing yourself to the world. The Banksy.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Of the game. This is a child's program, for fuck's sake. We have families fucking listening to this.
Sorry.
No, fuck them.
Yeah, I thought it was like a coming out party. It's weird.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Leo here from What's the Damage podcast. If you like this week's episode, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and do all that fucking shit. And hopefully we can get this worldwide. Thanks a lot. Peace.